Huge second day of the 2025 Top End T20 Series, sponsored by NT Tourism. This is the last match of 4 across today, with the locals NT Strike hosting Nepal in match 5 here at DXC Arena. I'd like to start this broadcast by acknowledging the Larrakia people, the traditional owners of the land we are on, and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. I'd also like to extend that respect to any Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people watching this broadcast. My name is Rob Cross, and earlier tonight, Will Zwar joined the two captains out in the middle for the bat flip.
So, Robert, you've decided to have a bat today?
No, we'll bowl.
Decided to have a bowl today, there you go. Yeah. So what was behind the decision to have a bowl for this evening's game?
Just we wanted to see the wicket, how wicket will play, especially in T20. Chasing always a good option. Looking at the wicket, it's green. So yeah, we'll love to bowl first.
And obviously it's the first game of the competition for the Nepalese side. What are you hoping to get out of the competition in tonight's game?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we as a team, we want to play our best cricket, what we know. At the end of the tournament, we want to just perform better, what we are supposed to do. And yeah, we are very excited to this tournament.
Perfect. Well, all the best and congratulations for this evening's game.
Thank you.
And Darcy, captain of the NT Strike team, must be good to be playing cricket back here in the territory this time of year.
Yeah, it's always nice to play cricket in August in Australia, so it's good to come back and play games.
And how's the team been gelling over the last couple of weeks?
Everyone's just been flying in every now and last couple of weeks, so yeah, balls to get out there and play tonight and have fun and hopefully get a win on the board.
Sounds like you guys are batting first. You'll be on centre stage bright and early. How are you feeling about that?
Yeah, fine. Love getting out there, trying to put a score on the board and hopefully put pressure on them to chase a high score.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much and congratulations and all the best for tonight's game.
Cheers, thank you.
That will be Game 5. Looking forward to bringing you the Top End Series tonight, Game 5 between NT Strike and Nepal.
Repeating, Nepal won the bat flip and have elected to bowl first. And you heard there Captain Rohit referencing the green wicket. Beautiful night here in Darwin. Some beautiful dry season breezes. You might be able to hear through the mic, but the temperatures today, low 30s. Humidity not here yet. The wet season is still a month or so away, so perfect dry season conditions. Not a cloud in the sky. Lights not yet taking effect, but they will a little bit later on. So very much looking forward to tonight's game. Will, some really interesting players. The NT Strike lineup is just loaded.
Yeah, there's plenty of talent there. Look at the opening two, Darcy Short and Jake Weatherald, and don't discount the first drop, Jacob Dickman. He's one of the stars of the local competition up here, captain of the Darwin Eagles Cricket Club, and I think he's one of the biggest run scorers for the last couple of years. They've also got Jordan Silk coming in at number 5. He's a Tasmanian captain. He's also a key part of that Sydney Sixers outfit. Matt Hammond, another local boy, and Hamish Martin. He's a premiership captain for the Palmerston Cricket Club in the local competition as well. Looking at the gloves, it'll be Cadell McMahon behind the wickets. Tonight's wicketkeeper for NT Strike.
And the Nepalese team have got some really interesting players there. Captain debuted at 15, Rohit, quite extraordinary. He's played 72 one-day internationals, 67 T20 internationals. They actually have the second highest ranked, according to the ICC, second highest ranked all-rounder in T20 cricket in Dipendra Singh Airy. So fascinating to see how he's going. Lots of how he's going to go tonight. Karan, Kushal have all played well over 50 ODIs and T20 internationals. So their experience is vast, and they should put up a really good challenge. Their first time at this tournament.
Yeah, it should be a really good game ahead. You think maybe with a little bit more knowledge of the local ground and the conditions, the NT Strike should be favourites for today's game, but that's all to come in tonight's game.
Are you looking to hit your studies for 6? Make the move to Australia's Northern Territory and start a world-class partnership where your potential can glide through boundaries and you can rack up runs in places you've never imagined. Enjoy our laid-back lifestyle and help us build what's next. When this over is over, think about getting on a good wicket and consider studying in Australia's Northern Territory. Authorised by the Northern Territory Government, Darwin.
Visiting Darwin, Australia? Make your stay a winning one at Darwin Airport Resorts. Just minutes from the airport and a short drive to the city, it's the ideal base for travellers chasing sun, culture or the cricket. With 3 comfortable hotels, 2 inviting pools and 2 on-site dining options, everything you need is right here. Relax, recharge and enjoy the top end at Darwin Airport Resorts.
Nepalese team, the first onto the arena here, DXC Arena, and a wonderful crowd in. And one of the great things about the recent T20 International Series between Australia and South Africa here played this week, a couple of games, was the multicultural nature of Darwin society meant there were lots of people from the subcontinent, Nepalese, Indians, Pakistanis, Bangladeshis, and they created a fantastic atmosphere, and it looks like we'll get the same tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, a great part of this top-end series is you sort of get a big mix of different teams. You've obviously got the local team, which is front and centre tonight, NT Strike, with some Australian players, and you've also got a lot of locals. But then you've got the 5 Big Bash teams who are competing, and you've also got those 4 international teams, Bangladesh, Nepal, Pakistan and the US Kingsmen.
And we're just waiting on a welcome to country for the players, which will be happening very shortly.
Hey Russ, from Nepal, both here and watching on TV screens across the world. Traditionally, when people from other lands visit an original country, a welcome to country would be passage through our lands under the guidance and protection of our ancestors. It does not matter about race, colour or creed or religion. Larrakia people welcome everyone. Larrakia lands was never ceded, and this land we're on today always was and always will be Larrakia land, as it has been for the last 60,000 years. My name is James Parfitt Fijo, and I'm here with Willie Hewitt. We are both on Larrakia land, presenting you this welcome to country. Sachin Tendulkar once said, "Enjoy the game and chase your dreams, as dreams do come true." Cricket is a sport that brings everyone together. It breaks down barriers, and it is a sport that is open to everyone, everywhere. From the harshest conditions of the NT outback to the highest mountains in the whole entire world, I wish you all the best as you set out to achieve your goals, and welcome each and every one of you here today. To Nepal, thank you for coming to our home, and we really do appreciate you being here, and we really do hope you come back again. I'd like to finish with the words from my grandfather, the late and great Reverend Wally Fijo. You have come by way of Larrakia land. While you're here, you'll hear the voices of our ancestors. When you leave, you'll take the Larrakia message with you. Good luck to both of yous.
So formalities are over with the Welcome to Country being performed. The two teams will now gather. The Nepalese team, at least they're the fielding side. They won the toss. Their captain Rohit deciding that with a bit of a green tinge to the wicket, he'd like to have a bowl first. And he's putting in this pretty imposing Northern Territory strike batting lineup as the Nepal team come together for their final tactics. And an exciting time to see this team, which has done some pretty good things in world cricket, here in the Northern Territory.
Yeah, absolutely. They have. Look, you mentioned that they've decided to go for a bowl first. It's an interesting decision given in the two games that I've seen so far, which was the Melbourne Renegades versus Melbourne Stars, then last night Pakistan versus Bangladesh, as well as the two T20 internationals earlier in the week. The side that batted first won, and in those two international, or the first three games, I should say, quite convincingly so. The Melbourne derby held up here in Darwin was only 6 runs in the end, but you got a feeling that the Renegades were a much better side on the day. It'll be interesting to see if they can buck the trend tonight.
The opening pair for NT Strike, Darcy Short, who's the captain, Jake Weatherald, who's had quite an incredible run of form in the longer form of the game, but he's no slouch at T20 cricket either. But he was the leading run scorer in the Sheffield Shield, which is the Australian domestic 4-day competition in the season just gone, 24-25. And more recently he played for Australia A here in Darwin on this ground against Sri Lanka A and made 183, so he is in magnificent touch. And I was watching a program today, Will, which included David Boone as one of the guests, and he was asked to pick his Australian 11 for the first Ashes test. And while he thought, let's stick with Sam Constas and Usman Khawaja, he had 3 players that maybe if Constas didn't get a run, and one of those 3 that he thought would be a chance is Jake Weatherall to open the batting for Australia in the test arena.
Yeah, there you go. So very talented batsman. That Australia A versus Sri Lanka A matches that you spoke of, they had some very high scoring performances there. He was obviously one of them, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of Australians and Territorians hoping he can do the same, put on a bit of a show tonight. Yeah,
both the pitch, one of the 4-day games was played at Marara on a drop-in pitch, and this is the home of cricket here, DXC Arena, so this pitch is here all the time, but both those matches very high scoring. Tough 8 days in the field for the bowlers and the fielders in those games, but this is the exciting nature of the game. It looks like Darcy Short will take strike to start for the NT Strike. And the opening bowler is Sompal Kami for Nepal, right arm bowler, and we're almost underway in the first match of the series for these two sides. NT Strike, of course, last season made the semi-finals before going down to Bangladesh, but the lineup they've brought together this year, you'd think they'll go a fair way in the tournament. Short, Weatherall, Jordan Silk, Tom Andrews, who's playing for the Sydney Thunder in the Big Bash League, and then Kane Richardson, who's played a lot of cricket in all formats for Australia. Sompal Kami is coming in from the northern end to get us underway. Match 5, and it's on the pads. And a good start if you're the Nepalese team.
Always nervous that first ball, Rob. They'd be happy to just get through. I think both sides would be happy to get through the first over with not too many nerves, not too many blemishes, wickets or boundaries alike.
It's a bit of a sighter for Short. I think if it was a few balls later, that ball may well have been deposited well over the mid-wicket boundary as Kami comes in again. And that was down the leg side. It was called a no ball. Was there bat on it as well, or thigh pad? Despairing dive by the keeper. He made good ground. It was off the thigh pad, and it goes down to the boundary. So strike are off the mark through extras. And Darcy Short, didn't matter too much. They still got the boundary, but not able to capitalise on that ball down the leg side. Looks like there is a fieldsman at a short, fine leg there, just around the corner. One slip in place. So with just one legitimate ball bowled, strike already up to 5. And this is a good ball, striking short. It wobbled around a bit off the seam, and maybe a slower ball too. He played it all over the top of it, And once again, around that leg stump region, perhaps a little straighter this time. And a good delivery.
Nice one to ease into it there. Just on his haunches for a few seconds there, short, back up and ready to go at it again.
And that's lofted beautifully by Short. In fact, it's not that beautiful because it's very high. The fieldsman is under and he's dropped it. It was in the air for a long time. I thought he'd got every piece of that and it was headed over the mid-off boundary. In fact, he skied it and the fieldsman only had to walk back a couple of metres, had plenty of time to get under it and drop the catch. And that's a big let-off for Darcy Short and the NT strike. And Sampal, the bowler, won't be happy. And I'm just wondering if it was the captain, Rohit, that might have dropped that. I think it might have been. He's the fielder there at mid-off, just on the edge of the circle.
Looks like it was another no ball as well. Potentially that one there. It's another free hit.
So Short again. Slashes this one, over cover this time. Not sure he got all of it. It's going away to the boundary. It won't reach the boundary. There'll be a couple more. So this is with those no balls in the first over, the total is already mounting and double figures already after just 3 balls.
Earlier today, I think the scores were 190 to 184. So sort of hovering probably closer to that 9.5 run rate mark. Last night I had a massive score from the Pakistan Shaheens, 220 odd. As you said, already at 10 after just 3 balls tonight, Rob.
Kami needs to tighten up a little bit. Again down leg side, another wide. So yet another sundry to the total. And this is a real mixed bag, this first over. One good delivery, just nipping back and striking Short in the midriff. But the other deliveries, the captain wouldn't be too pleased. Still 3 balls to go in the over. It's already gone for about 4 or 5 minutes. And well taken single. Another one to Short's total. So we get to see Weatherald for the first time this evening.
Lively crowd coming in the gates early for tonight's game, Rob. Good build up after the working week. Great to have cricket here on a Friday evening under lights.
Yeah, on the western side of the ground in front of the NT cricket offices, Northern Territory cricket offices, and the player pavilion. Got some food vans there, got some marquees. Just enjoying the cooler part of the day here in Darwin. It's an exquisite time of year. So Jake Weatherald, first ball facing Kami. Comes in from the northern end. Wide outside the off stump, slash, over slip, and all the way down to the boundary. And that is the nature of T20 cricket. If the ball is wide, have a flash at it, it's going to have to be a pretty good catch to get you out. And there was no one in the slips. It would have cleared their heads anyway, I think.
Yeah, expensive over so far for the Nepalese side. We've only 4 balls in and we've already had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 balls bowled, Rob. None for 13 so far. 1 boundary. A dropped catch. Complete mixed bag at this stage.
Still 2 balls remaining for Kami. That one's a better delivery. He tightened the batsman up Weatherald, but he was still able to work it backward of point and down to the fielder on the boundary. Just a single. Keep this up, they'll get nearly 400, Will.
Yeah, they'll work that run rate up very quickly.
That is some over. Dot, 5 no balls. Dot, 1 no ball. 2, 1 wide. 2 no balls. 4, 1.
Just readjusting the field.
Magnificent blue uniform of the Nepalese. Kami for his last ball. It's a slow one. Pitched up on leg stump. Worked into the onside. And a single to finish the over. Eventually, 19 after 1 over for the Northern Territory strike. Which 8 of those have gone down as extras.
Gee, they keep that up. They will be heading for a big total, Rob. And of those 8 sundries, 5 to Weatherald off 2, 6 to Short off 7 ultimately. Short already looking dangerous with the bat. A thunderous crack on that third delivery. Ended up being a no ball. If not, could have been off for an early exit, but the way the score's looking at the moment, maybe he's set for a big night and a big series ahead.
Rupesh will be coming on now from the southern end, just in front of us in the commentary position. Which is in the open air, but you don't care, do you, Will, in conditions like these? The beautiful breeze. Rather than being cooped up in an enclosed commentary box. Rupesh is going through a couple of warm-up deliveries to the fielder next to him. And it will be Weatherall to take strike. No wicket for 19. Huge first over by the NT strike. In fact, it might be Short. Here's Darcy Short, in fact, on strike. On 6. Rupesh charges in. That's a good delivery. Swinging down the leg side. Strikes the pad, but would have been going down the leg. At least it's a dot ball, and at least it's not an extra.
Yeah, they'd want to try and tighten up on their bowling at the moment and just try and reduce the sundries. 8 in the first over is just not good enough. If they can restrict them and just keep tighter on their bowling, they'll be already keeping lower than that 18 they let slide through in that first over.
Good energy to the crease. Rupesh bustles in again and forces the false stroke. Short plays all around it, goes between bat and pad. And this is a good comeback by the Nepalese in the second over. Short only had eyes for us, Will. That was coming down our throat if he'd laid contact on that. We're fielding it long on the safe side of the fence. And just dropping the fielder at long on back onto the rope. It's Bertel. 2 dots to start. Can Rupesh keep this up against one of the hardest hitting batsmen in world cricket, not just Australian cricket? And unfortunately he strays down the leg side, and after a promising beginning gives a run away with a wide. Crowd keeps coming in, doesn't it, Will? Even on the far side, the eastern side.
Yeah, plenty more, just slowly filling and filtering in over into the XC arena.
Rupesh, another good delivery, just on middle and leg, forcing the defensive stroke from Short. So just the one blemish really was that very wild delivery down the leg side, but this has been a much better over.
If they're able to keep it tight in this, and you wonder if maybe the odd wide there provides a little bit of frustration. Short at the crease, he hasn't quite seemed super comfortable just yet. And they get an early wicket.
Rupesh once again strikes him on the pad. Sliding down the leg again, you would think they scurry through for a leg bye. And Short tosses his bat in a bit of frustration. So hasn't quite got going yet, the two NT strike batsmen. Musical accompaniment, which is always great. What's Weatherald got? He's on 5 from 2. And he lofts beautifully off his hip. And will it clear the fence? It does. Straight over the pickets at square leg for 6. So Weatherald, rich vein of form, continues in all forms of the game. And he goes to 11. And the total up to 27.
Bounce of the ball on the tin roof there, just adding to the drums in the crowd, Rob.
Nice.
It's a great sound to hear off a territory strike, of an NT strike bat, and great stroke there from Weatherald. As you mentioned, familiar with this ground at the moment. First 6 of the evening in the second boundary.
What's Rupesh got in response? And he's forced the false stroke. It was short, and lifting delivery into the gloves and hip of Weatherald. So a good finish, a good comeback. Just 7 off the over, and when you consider 6 of those came in one blow, I think he'd be pretty happy with that, considering the first over went for 19. So 2 overs down after winning the toss and electing to bowl. Nepal has the strike, no wicket for 27. Like there's going to be a change, so Airy will have to catch up with the Nepalese management. Will, I'm really hoping that our pronunciations, we do apologise, we will catch up. But so this is I'm really fascinated by this as we wait for the first ball from Airy. The reverse sweep is high in the air, and it's all the way down at our feet to the boundary for 4. Well played by Darcy Short. He goes into double figures and the total to 31. But Airy is the ICC's second-ranked T20 all-rounder in the world, which is pretty exciting. He once scored a 9-ball 50 a few years ago against Mongolia. 9 balls to make 50. And he's one of just a few players in T20 internationals to score 6 sixes. Every ball in an over went for a 6 in 1 over. So he's a very talented cricketer. He's bowling some off breaks at the moment. Comes around the wicket. Quicker delivery and no run.
Quick in the field as well, looking by his movement there. Looking forward to seeing him with bat in hand, judging by those stats. But at the moment, happily settle for spin. Good start to this over.
Comes in again to Short, and it's on middle and leg, and it's swept away down towards backward square. Beautiful shot, magnificently timed. Vacant area. They might need to think about loading that spot up if the bowler is going to deliver it there. And another 4 to Short. He's up to 14. Experienced player, Airy. He's played 64 ODIs and 82 T20 internationals.
You mentioned he got one of those batting figures against Mongolia. That'll be an interesting cricket backdrop there. We've got a pretty interesting one here tonight, the beautiful tropics of the Darwin, dry season, sun setting, and you mentioned there's plenty of crowd members just filtering in and sitting over that far side to capture the cricket and the sunset in one go. Harry coming in for ball number 4 of his first over.
Couple of boundaries off it, a little hop and a skip, and it's punched away just into the mid-wicket region. Easy single taken to Short, up to 15. Here in the midst of this magnificent sporting precinct here in Darwin, the Marara precinct. We've got a golf course, we've got the main oval where Australian rules football is played. We're on the cricket arena today. It's basketball, netball, a shooting range, BMX riding, rugby league, tennis. It's an incredible precinct. Football, soccer as some might know it. This one is short on middle leg stump. No run allowed. It was too well timed off the bat, and even though the field was quite deep on the offside, the ball travelled too quickly. So a dot ball, the second of the over. So good comeback by Airy. What's he got for the last ball? Can he contain them? They're 36 in the third over. And once again, a good finish by Airy. Another quicker delivery on the leg stump. And the strike going at 12 and over after 3.
Squash courts over in this Marara precinct as well. Robin, you mentioned golf before. Will Sutherland, I think he might have almost got his sports confused earlier today. He hit a 6 right over the fence. It almost went for a hole-in-one over there. Alas, he was best on ground in that match with a top score of 63. Game at hand at the moment. Weatherald on 11 after 6 balls. Short 15 off 15 balls. And T-Strike on 36, their total score.
Rupesh will get a second over. Kami was relieved after just 1 at the northern end. He went for 15. Rupesh was pretty good off his first, just 7 runs from it. And when you consider one of those went for 6, not a bad effort. As he comes in to bowl to Short, who makes a little bit of room and lofts him straight down the ground. Didn't time it all that well, and the fielder at long onto it now. Will need to scurry a little bit. Weatherall does just that. The throw was slightly astray, and a strike get 2.
Starting to look a little bit more comfortable, Short and Weatherall. A little bit nervous for Short at first. He took a while to get going and had a few sundries which maybe might have thrown a spanner in the works for him.
Short bat aloft. Rupesh wide outside the off stump. And that would have been lucky to reach a gully fieldsman if we had a traditional longer form field in place. That was incredibly wide. And only 1 run for it. So a little loose for a good first over. I'm sure he'll rebound. Discussion there with his fielder at mid-off. Fielders out at the moment, both on the leg side. There's a wideish long on and a deep backward square leg of the 2 fielders on the boundary. All the other fielders right on the circle. And now around the wicket. And lofted high, very high and long, onto the practice nets for another 6 to Darcy Short. He goes into the 20s.
Yeah, great strike there from Short. Starting to feel a little bit more comfortable. His first 6 of the evening, and the second for the NT strike side. Take a look at this crack, as you said, over into the cricket nets. And already NT strike closing in on their first half century as a squad. Almost 3.5 overs in.
Rupesh losing a bit of control, bowling a very wide delivery and then a very short ball which was dispatched. He's gone back over the wicket to Short. Tucks him up on the leg side off the thigh pad. This meanders its way into the offside and they run through for a leg bye. Target for a huge total early on.
Dropped it back from that 19 they scored in the, or they conceded in the first over.
Weatherall now, short high. Fieldsman running back from backward square leg, gets under it, takes it. Loose shot forced by Rupesh. He finally gets the right line. Weatherall getting under it, skying the ball, and an excellent catch in the end. We've seen one drop tonight, although that did turn out to be a no ball by the captain. But this time, a very tricky catch. He had to make 15 to 20 metres, running backwards almost. Short ball, maybe onto him a little quicker than he expected. He got it high on the bat. And an excellent catch by the fielder there. Might actually be Kami, I think, the bowler that went for 15 in the first over. So he's made amends to a degree, getting the important wicket of Weatherall.
Yeah, 11 for 6. He'd be disappointed with that, particularly given how well he was striking them a few weeks ago for the Australia A side. He's got time to make amends. Each team playing 6 games in this top end series, but he'd be disappointed with that total, as we said. It's been a little bit of an uncertain start for them. A lot of sundries, which, while they add to the total, have just maybe caused a little bit of angst and means the batsmen haven't quite been able to find their groove and get into rhythm. Jacob Dickman coming in, he knows his ground well, one of the locals, captain of the Darwin Eagles Cricket Club up here. And as I said, he knows his ground well, be very keen to put on a good total in front of his home crowd.
Good first up delivery for Rupesh, making Dickman play. Down the pitch to mid-on. So a very important wicket. It's the best way to stem the tide, stem the flow of runs in T20 cricket, take those wickets, bring a new batter to the crease. Need a couple at least, even in shorter form of the game. You still need a couple of sighters. So the last ball of Rupesh is over. Bowling to Dickman. Just outside the off stump. And the big edge. And bounces in front of the fieldsman there at a wide slip. And no run. So 2 dots to finish the over. A wicket, then ... So excellent bowling by Rupesh. He's got 2 overs, 1 for 16. They just pegged the strike back a little bit after 4 overs, 1 for 46.
Yeah, conceded 10 off that in the end, but that important wicket would get them up and about the Nepalese side. Very happy with that. Still conceding more than 10 and over at this stage, more than 11 and over at this stage. But doing much better than they started off with. 19 conceded off that first over. And looking like we'll have another change. Sandeep Lamashane coming in from that northern end to start the 5th over. Short to face the first of Lamashane.
Comes in, the leg spinner, well flighted delivery, driven straight down the ground. Fielder at long off. Gets there before it hits the rope for a couple more to short. Nice bouncing technique from Lamashane. So short is definitely the danger man now. He's well set, well into the 20s. Sweeping. And sweeping all the way to the rope. Excellent shot. So his placement there was perfect. He didn't hit it all that hard. His timing exquisite.
And now that he has sort of got a bit more of a judge on just how quickly those balls are coming in, he's probably a little bit more settled. And you're right, he doesn't need to necessarily absolutely crack them. It can just be a little bit more of a placement where appropriate to do so. That one, as you said, very well done and easily beat the boundary line.
Shane tries again. Well flighted, forces the false shot. It bounces just wide of the fielder at a wideish mid-off, and long off comes up to do the fielding, but definitely a false stroke by Short. Bit of an exchange and a chat between batter and bowler. Looks friendly. An interesting over. A boundary in it. Leg spinners always add something to the game. Always sense something could happen. The batsman's eyes light up when those big loopy leggies are tossed up.
Dickman yet to get off the mark. Be hoping to do so here.
He's bowled him! What a magnificent delivery. That was the wrong, and it was flighted. It was curving in, but instead of spinning away to the offside, it just kept going on. Clipped, I think, the top of the off stump, and Dickman goes for a duck. And Lamashane, who's looked really good in his first few balls, despite going for one beautifully swept boundary to Short, he was dangerous. He's an experienced international cricketer, and that is a magnificent delivery. And the strike are being reeled back a little bit.
Yeah, not happy Dickman at all. Really disappointed in that, going for a duck off just 3 balls. Just clip the top of the wickets, as you said, knock the bails off. In will come another left-hander. There is almost half the team. 5 left-handers in the NT side tonight, Rob. Connor Carroll coming in at second drop.
You can never have enough lefties, Will.
Bit more friendly banter between Lamashane and Short just up that bowler's end. Definitely looks friendly enough. A few chuckles in there. Perhaps some sage advice, Rob.
It's supposed to be a friendly tournament. So with Connor Carroll coming in, Lamashane's going to go around the wicket. Another lefty, as you mentioned. That was a magnificent delivery. A perfect wrong-un that Shane Warne would have been proud of.
See if he can do it again.
Sandeep Lamashane bowls. Didn't turn that much at all. Pretty much went straight on with the arm. And worked away straight off the mark, Connor Carroll, with a single. So he won't get a duck. And the total up to 2 for 54.
One ball left to come in. Sandeep Lamashane's first over, which has been really impressive. Just the one boundary, but getting Dickman in a vulnerable position, sending him back without scoring a run or troubling the scorers.
Wouldn't he love this wicket? He's been in his ear, maybe just softening him up a little bit. Comes in, bowls to Short, flights it. And again, the wrong-un. Turning away from the left-handed batsman. It was just a little short, though, giving Short, no pun intended, time to just rock back and punch it out down the offside for a single. 2 for 55, excellent first over, 1 for 9, Lamashane.
Darcy Short to keep strike heading into the 6th over here. As you can see already, NT strike 2 wickets down in quick succession. The first, Jake Weatherald, caught by Kami off Singh. 11 runs he scored off 7. And then Dickman didn't trouble the scorers off 3 balls, and a magnificent bowl there coming from Sandeep Lamashane. Looking forward to his next over. Really impressive start to the night for him. Looks like it'll be airy again, bowling from the southern end.
He's got Short on strike. It's punched into the offside. Slight misfield by Rupesh. It should only be 1 run, though. He's got a fielder backing up, coming in from the boundary there in Kushal Malla. So just 1 run conceded from the first ball from Airy, who's the 2nd ranked player according to the ICC in T20 internationals. It's an all-rounder. Carroll on strike. The new batsman. Quicker ball, short. Dot. Races through his overs, gives the batsman really no time to get settled. Around the wicket once again. Flighted this time, full toss. Punched forward of square leg. Might beat the two diving fielders. It didn't. Brilliant bit of fielding. Able to swat it backwards. It was excellently placed. But the fieldsman coming around from mid-wicket, diving full length, was able to get to it first. And a couple more runs only to Carroll. Save 2. This time it's the back cut to the fielder at a very short third man, almost a deep gully. Always tough as a batsman, and the bowler's hustling through. Nicely flighted. Again a dot ball. Nice bit of curve on that ball.
Yeah, a bit more settled. Just the 3 conceded off this over. Conceded 9 in his first.
Can he finish off the 6th over with another dot? It's outside the off stump. Straight to the fieldsman on the deep point boundary. So an excellent over, just 4 from it. The most economical over so far in the NT strike innings. They were sent into bat by Nepal. And after 6 overs, NT strike 2 for 59. Batsman out, Weatherald for 11. Jacob Dickman, no score.
Bit of a shaky start for the Nepalese side. A lot of sundries in that first over. Went for 19. Since then, they've really steadied out, and sort of talk about the batsmen needing to settle at the crease, but looks like this Nepalese side has definitely settled in the field a lot more. The bowlers have found their way across that pitch and bowling a lot tighter as the game's progressed, Rob.
So new bowler on, it's the captain, Rohit. And a single off the first ball of Rohit's over. Seemed pretty excited to be here when you interviewed him pre-match, Will?
Yeah, very excited to be here. The whole side, just their eyes sort of lit up.
He's held that one back as Short went to reverse sweeps. I'm not sure whether there's a bit of gamesmanship in there or what happened, but potentially there was. Didn't go through with the delivery. Dead ball called. So Rohit tries again, just 1 or 2 paces. And it's enough just to put Short off his game a little bit. All he can do is just push it into the covers. Just good steady bowling at the moment by the Nepalese. That's slightly wider, and Short can't take full advantage. Excellent fielding at cover. On the circle. It's well timed, but the placement wasn't there.
That was Dipendra Singh Ari. Hoping we're getting the pronunciations right, but that's your man, Rob. Very well in the field as well.
Rohit down the leg side. It should be a wide. It is called. They're going to take the run as well. Slight misfield won't matter. So a couple there to the total. Will be a wide. Carroll will come on strike.
Yes, the entire Nepalese side arrived sort of towards the back end of the Melbourne Renegades Melbourne Stars game and just lit up at the stars on the field there, as we are very excited to be here in Darwin.
Rohit. That's better, back on track, outside the off stump to Carroll. So a good start. So the slow bowlers making an impact. Lamashane's got a wicket. Ari. Now the reverse sweep's been attempted. Won't beat the field. Another single only.
Good over from the skipper. Just conceded the 4 runs so far. And again, they're just reducing that run rate now to a very reasonable 9.22.
Last ball of the over is driven. Should just be a single. Slightly wider the fielder out there. That's a wide long on or long off. And it is just 1 run. So brilliant over by Rohit, the captain. Just 5 from it. So just 9 runs from the last 2 overs has been excellent by the Nepalese. And when you consider, Will, that 19 was taken off the first over, just 45 off the next 6 is pretty good going.
Yeah, perhaps the NT strike batters thought, oh, 19 off the first over, and half of them almost were sundries. We could be in for a big score and an easy night, maybe lulled into a false sense of security. As I said, that run rate now much more respectable, 9.14 across the innings, so it's looking like we will have a game on our hands. 2 gone in quick succession. Dickman for a duck, Weatherald for just 11. Airy back at the crease, excited to see what he can do.
Lights starting to take effect here at DXC Arena. Full toss, missed, and you can see the frustration by Short smashing his bat into the pitch. Full toss leg stump should have been dispatched over the roof of NT Cricket's headquarters. There he gets away with it with a dot ball. Good pressure coming from Nepal. Flights this one outside off stump. Cut away backward of point to the fielder on the boundary. And that's just a single. So the dots and ones are starting to mount. Paul getting back into the game.
Yeah, Airy conceded 9 off his first, just 4 off his second, and just the 1 so far. 2 balls into his third over.
Continues around the wicket. Lofted ball by Carroll over the fieldsman at mid-wicket. Beautifully struck. And a 6 to Connor Carroll. And the economy of Airy has had some damage done to it with a short ball. Carroll timing it sweetly.
Starting to bring up some of those big hits as well. That's exactly what the fans, and judging by the waving of those flags, fans of both sides have come to see. The excitement of T20 cricket.
And he throws in a quicker ball, very, very short. Has to do the fielding himself. Misses it. Won't concede an extra run though. So Carroll into double figures. Just a tick under 10 runs and over now. Airy a couple to go in his third over. Once again, quicker delivery. Punch down towards long on. They'll be happy with the singles, knowing the power of Darcy Short and what he can do. Well contained on that occasion. Last ball of the third over for Airy. Last ball of the 8th over of the innings. Carroll back on strike. Airy short, missed through to the keeper. No touch on it. A dot ball to finish the overs. Good work by Airy. His third over and no wicket for 22. And after 8, it's 2 for 73.
Airy tightening up there again, just conceding 9 off the over. Of course, that 1 boundary in there. Otherwise, he's been really tight, sitting at 22 runs he's given. And there's the scoreboard, the tail of the tape so far. Darcy Short letting all comers still in, 35 off 29. And then Weatherald and Dickman went out in quick succession. 11 to Weatherald, Dickman just a duck. Connor Carroll, he's starting to find his stride as well. 13 off 12, including the 6 in that over. T strike 2 for 73. Heading into the 9th over here. Current run rate of 9.12.
Lamashane continues, reverse sweep. He chips it magnificently, Darcy Short. And brings up a boundary with a beautifully timed stroke.
Those two have been having a bit of banter between them so far tonight, Rob.
Yeah, he'll enjoy that one. So the reverse shot over cover. So rather than a traditional cover drive or back foot punch, he just reversed the bat and lofted it to the boundary for 4. That one struck on the foot. Going down the leg side, I think it might be a leg bite. It's going to be 4 runs, or did he get bat on it as well? We'll wait on the umpire. It doesn't matter, it'll be 4 more to the total. It's going to be signalled as 4. So 4 more runs there to Northern Territory strike and 4 more to Darcy Short. Total up to 81 in the 9th over.
Short closing in on 50. A little bit more to go yet. We won't. Don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, Rob.
Good start to this over for NT strike. Short headed towards a half century. Lamashane's first over was good, went for just 9, and the wicket of the match so far with an excellent wrong-un to dismiss Jacob Dickman. Short has his measure at the moment. You go for a third boundary in a row. Short outside the off stump. Hammered through and all the way to the boundary again. The fielder in the covers missed it. Well timed, well placed. 4 more to short. He's up to 47. And the total rattles along to 2 for 85. 3 boundaries in a row.
Yeah, that fielder in there was the captain, Rohit Kumar Pordell. Did a little bit of some good fielding it just early, but of course let that one through. Not too happy with it. That's cricket though.
Sandeep Lamashane got this time. That's a better delivery. Again, the power of short, though, will find yet another boundary. He seemed to hit there was almost 2 sounds there as though he hit the pad with the bat as it went through. He didn't seem to hit it as cleanly as we know he can. It doesn't matter. 4-4-4-4. First 4 balls of the 9th over. Short brings up his 50 off 33, Will.
Yeah, he does. That takes him over the 50 mark. Now on 51. Starting to find his stride. He did look very nervous early on in the innings, I think just as the Nepalese were sort of finding their feet as well, but definitely found his strides, and he'd be very happy with 16 off the over so far. Really keep the trend going.
Reverse sweeping and bowled him. That's a great comeback by Lamashane. Short can't believe it. Punches his bat, smiles and a lovely handshake. That's what cricket's all about. Great banter, great byplay, but in the end, they acknowledge a good contest. Short goes for 51. Lamashane gets his 2nd wicket, and after conceding 4 boundaries off the first 4 balls, attempting the reverse sweep, Lamashane gets his man and a vital 3rd wicket for Nepal.
Lamashane changing it up a little bit as well. Just have a look at it here. A little bit of banter there, and Lamashane was one of those cricketers I saw as they were walking in who was just very excited, his eyes lit up, just happy to be here playing cricket. You can tell he absolutely loves it every time he's out on the field. Looks like Darcy Short might be one of his idols as well. Very happy to take that wicket, but it doesn't really get any easier. Jordan Silk now coming in for NT strike, and I think he's going to be pretty keen to steady the ship. 3 for 89 off almost 9 overs. NT strike sitting at just over 10 runs and over.
Jordan Silk, incredibly experienced player, over 100 first-class matches. He's played 135 T20 domestic games. Interesting case, he's considered an import because he captains the Tasmanian, or the Hobart Hurricanes as they're known. Well, I should say captains Tasmania, but he plays for the Sydney Sixers. But because Hobart Hurricanes are part of this tournament, he can't play for them because of his contract with Sydney. So, still allowed to play in the tournament, but comes in as an import. Good news for NT strike. What's he got for Lamashane? Last ball of the over. He works it through mid-wicket, and he's immediately off the mark. That ends the 9th over. 3 for 90. Silk 1, Carroll 13. We saw the demise in that over of Short, who made a half-century, 51 off 34.
Expensive over nonetheless, Rob. 17 runs off at the 2nd biggest for the Nepalese tonight. Let's have a look at the bowling figures at the moment. And Rohit Kumar Pordell, their captain, currently with the best economy off just 1 over, but have really liked the work of your man Dipendra Singh Ari. 3 overs, just 22 runs off it. He's looked very quick in the field, and looking forward to potentially seeing him bat later on. Otherwise, Sandeep Lamashane, he's been looking very good as well, despite conceding that 17. He took the all-important wicket of Darcy Short in that over.
And you saw the figure, which has bumped up this total of 14 extras, which hasn't really helped. You take those away, and it's a really competitive effort. It's still not too bad. As you can see, exactly 10 runs and over through 9 overs at 3 for 90. If they can get Silk early, they'd really like their chances of trying to keep NT strike under 200. New bowler, Jha. Gulshan Kumar Jha. Back to pace after a stint of slow bowling. From the southern end, right arm over the wicket, outside off stump, driving on the up straight to the field. Good dot ball for Nepal.
Skipper Rohit again doing some good fielding there. Ball came straight to him. He's had 1 over bowling so far, but he's definitely getting involved.
If the wicket keeper, bottom of screen, directing traffic, supporting his captain, making a few suggestions to the field. Silk is working that from outside the off stump through mid-wicket. They've got one. This is excellent running. They come back for the second. It will make it pretty comfortably. Throw was a bit wide. Silk was always going to make it, though. Just placed it beautifully into the mid-wicket region that stopped inside the circle. The fielder had to come in from the boundary. Beautifully placed. Silk retains the strike.
Great fielding there. Had to be good running between the wickets as well, and it was. As you said, Silk was always making that, but had to be on his bike. 3 from 3, Silk.
Gulshan, full toss. Did make the most of it. Oh, misfield. Broke through the hands of the fielder at mid-off and all the way to the rope. Costly miss by Nepal. Silk gets a boundary. Captain, bowler, and the rest of the team won't be happy. And in fact, it was the captain that let it through. So he's not had a good night in the field. He dropped a catch, which turned out to be a no ball. He's had a couple of misfields, and that is costly. Fortunately, not quite leading from the front at the moment. Total up to 3 for 96. Bit of a delay as Nepal tries to set their field. The player at short fine leg. Gulshan charges in wide. Another extra to the total. To about 15, I think now. It's having an impact.
As you said, that'd sort of bring them back down to 81. Their run rate at the moment, just over 10.2. I mean, they'd be relatively happy with that given the dewy conditions you get at the night games up here anyway. But if you take away those 15 runs, it's even better than that. A really sloppy start, but they're starting to build something now.
Silk looking hungry for runs. Gets plenty on that. Backward of point, down to the rope for 4. Beat the fielder inside the circle. Beat the fielder at deep point. And another boundary brings up the 100 inside the 10th over for the strike. Silk looking dangerous. He's up to 11. The over becoming expensive.
And that takes NT strike over the 100-run mark, just before the halfway point of their innings.
Inside the off stump, punched into the offside region. Player comes in off the rope. Bounce return, just the 1 run. So Carroll hasn't had strike for a while. Silk's been controlling that. He's up to 12. 12 off 6. Pretty good going. Last ball, and we're up to the halfway mark of this innings, with the strike scoring it over 10 runs and over. Darcy Short's been the highlight so far, 51 off 34. Weatherall got 11. Dickman a duck. Gulshan tucks up Carroll. Gets 1. They might think about 2, but the fielders were back onto it pretty quickly, including the bowler himself, who ran away to square leg. So 10 overs down here after winning the toss and sending NT strike into bat, Nepal. The NT strike are 3 for 103. Silk 12, Carroll 14.
And you mentioned that the Nepalese side sent NT strike in to bat. Particularly these night games we've had the last week, Rob Cross. It has been the team that has batted first that has won, and quite comfortably. 103 NT strikes total at the moment. You'd think they're on their way to potentially more than 200 if they can keep up their run rate. And that would be pretty hard to chase. A quick look at Nepal's bowling attack at the moment. Shane again. He was the most expensive terms of total runs scored, but he's also taken 2 wickets, and 2 very good wickets at that. Clean bowled Darcy Short as well as Jacob Dickman. Very entertaining character on the field as well by the looks of it so far. Here comes Alarm. Good strike out there from Carroll. They'll do some heavy running there and make it 2. Start the first ball of the 10th over. Alarm's ball again, taken relatively easy there. Again, they'll push for another 2, will they? Just easing into it, but would want to tighten up on 2 runs per ball, you'd think, Rob. That one through to the keeper, keeping him on their toes.
Definitely looks like the slow bowlers are the way to go tonight. The quicker bowlers have been more expensive, albeit Labuschagne going for 17 in his previous over, but he's got a couple of wickets.
And clean bowled again. Dangerous when they're striking. Rob Alarm on just his 4th ball. Didn't expect that one to come through at all. Seemed a little bit like he was just trying to ease into it, and bang. Struck while the arm was hot. Struck while their guard was down. Connor Carroll goes for 18 off 17 balls, and NT strike suddenly at 107 for 4.
Yeah, terrific delivery. Carroll goes, could say, sounding the alarm, Will.
Alarm, he'll come in at the 11th batter tonight, so thought we might have seen him a little bit earlier than the 11th over. Alas, here he is, 2 each of his first 2 a dot ball, and then another great bowl, an unexpected wicket coming from Alarm. Andrews will join Silk at the crease.
Always the best way in T20 cricket to just drag the scoring rate back is to take wickets. They've done it again. And Andrews, probably better known for his bowling, can absolutely bat as well, coming at 6. You've got to know how to handle the willow.
Keeping them on their toes.
Bringing the crowd into the game, Will. It's exciting.
One left in his first over for Alarm. And just an easy block. Get through to the 12th over. NT striker, 4 for 107.
So that is the best over by an individual for this innings, 1 for 4. Gary's second over conceded just 4 runs but didn't take a wicket. So again, the slow bowlers are successful. Labuschagne has a couple. And Alarm in on the party as well.
Looks like it'll be the skipper returning to the crease. Rohit Kumar Pordell. Just the 1 over tonight. 5 went through off him. He'll be hoping to replicate that again here in the 12th over. One pushed out, well fielded. Just the 1 off that one. Squeeze, another one through. And NT strike have really dropped off here. Seemed like a little while ago that they crossed over that triple figure mark. Now just still sitting at 109. Silk goes bang. Drives that one into the outfield. But again, they can't really seem to get more than a couple of runs at a time these last couple of overs. Singles only the first 3 balls of this 12th over.
Rohit, like the skipper, like the green tinge to the pitch, but it's the slowies that are doing the damage.
I'm now doing work in the field. Bring it back again, keeping them. Just one run there.
It's good energy too. They're charging in from the boundary. They're running back into position. Sense an opportunity. Keeper directing traffic.
So 5 singles off this over so far. You mentioned that crowd, Rob. It's definitely behind the Nepalese team and sustaining them at the moment. They've been really tight these last couple of overs, and when they haven't, a wicket will come. That one slips through the keeper's gloves. He lost sight of it for a second there. Getting to backstop position there, Samdeep Lamashane. And then pushing it back again. Just the one there. So 6 off the over. NT strike. 4 for 113. 12 overs gone.
I'm going to put the credit down to the bowler then, because I think he saw Andrews backing away, threw it out wide, and unfortunately the keeper couldn't control the ball and make it a dot ball. It slipped through his gloves and they got a bye. But excellent bowling. Andrews stepped away to try and hit it through the offside. Bowler saw him coming, threw it out wide, no contact was made, but unfortunately they still got a run through that miss by the keeper. Still, good over, just 6 off it, 4 for 113, the run rate back under 10.
Andrews getting back to ball there. Again, just pushing through for a single only, and they've really dropped the run rate down. Alarm on for his second over of the innings.
This is the key now, isn't it? Silk is the key.
Love a wicket here, wouldn't he?
Little bump ball. They got excited.
Into the turf, and Alarm ready to get him if he was out of his crease. Wasn't to be. Strike there.
Oh, that's disappointing. Misfield out there at the deep cover point boundary, and they got back for 2. Should only have been 1. It was straight to the field. It was well timed by Silk, so fair bit of force in the shot, but really at this level, got to stop that. And they've allowed Silk to get back on strike.
In comes Alarm again. Drive will just be pushed out and then bring it back. They can't seem to break through for another boundary. They haven't hit a boundary since that 10th over, so almost 4 overs now. Rob?
Next player in is a local Matt Hammond, who plays for the Southern Districts club here in Darwin. Very well credentialed player, but you just sense they're a bit wary of not losing a clump of wickets here. Still lots of overs in hand. Boy, they're running well between the wickets though. Well placed, and they knew straight away, and they took off and got 2 pretty comfortably.
Last ball of the over for alarm. This one not as tight. Still yet to concede a boundary. And that one will go through for a dot ball. 4 for 119 after 13 overs here at DXC Arena. And T-strike. Well, they got out to a pretty good run rate early on in the innings, Rob, and it looks like maybe at this stage they're just trying to sustain it. As you said, wouldn't want to lose too many wickets in a clump here. They haven't lost one since the 11th over, but they've lost some of their big hitters. Obviously still got Silk in. You mentioned Matt Hammond still to come in. And Tom Andrews hasn't quite hit his straps yet. 5 runs off 8 balls, but well credentialed player as well. They wouldn't want him to get into a hot streak at all.
Having a long conversation, the two batsmen. They're going to press the go button now with 7 overs remaining. Quite a long discussion.
Airy back with ball in hand now. Mort for 22 off 3 overs. Can he break through for a wicket, his first of the night? Squeezing another single through.
Be happy with that. Silk gave himself some room. But almost yorked himself, and he could just succeed in digging it out and hitting it down to a longish mid-off. Deepish long off.
Airy doing the fielding off his own bowling work. Again, good running between the wickets. They've been really, really hot on that tonight. NT strike. Haven't really gone for anything they shouldn't have yet.
Well, Airy's not giving them much. He's just darting them in. That was a really quick ball for a spinner.
Oh. Clean bowled again. His first of the night, Airy, but this Nepalese outfit, they're proving a handful with ball in hand, aren't they? And it's Silk who goes 19 off 14. Matt Hammond will come in. Can he change the pace of the game? Tom Andrews, as we said, yet to really get off the mark, just 6 runs off 9 balls, and suddenly we were talking 200 runs. I think earlier we were talking possibly even closer to 400, Rob Cross. I don't think that's likely now, but that 200 as well, potentially looking like it's not as easy or as close as they thought it might be. And another great wicket. A few of them have just been clean bowled. I think that's the 3rd one tonight that's just hit the top of the wickets and sent the bails on their way.
Brilliant bowling, just bowling darts, just spearing them in, almost like really quick Yorkers. And Silk is a massive wicket. And one player who might be enjoying watching this, not the fact that his teammates are going out, but Andrews might be looking at this and thinking, right, this pitch is suiting the slow bowlers, and a bowler like Andrews could be very damaging in his spell tonight. But Airy gets the wicket he richly deserved. It's been a magnificent over.
That one almost looked like he hesitated on it, but it's safe and it's cleared the boundary. First boundary in a long time since the 10th over. And Matt Hammond is on his way. Area a little bit costly earlier on. Although looking back now, not so much so. It's been a problem. Be very happy to break through with a wicket in this over. Try and keep it tight for this last ball now. And that one's beaten the keeper, and that you'd think is going to go through for 4. It's wide as well.
Yeah, 4 wides. What a disappointing way to finish. He almost was rushing a bit too much. So keen to get through the over, was he? Just lost that bit of control and undoes a bit of the good work of the over so far. Taken a wicket, had a dot, couple of ones, has conceded a boundary, which is a little bit lucky from the first ball that Hammond faced. But to finish with 5 wides and have one more ball to bowl is unfortunate. It's been a good spell.
Just a little delay as the ball went through, not over beyond the rope, but beyond the light screen as well. This is the last ball of Airy's 4th over. Just popped it up a little bit, well fielded. Oh, that had to be quick there. Is that going to be out? Umpire says no. They're keeping them on their toes though, aren't they? NT strike 5 for 130 off 14 overs. And that run rate has been brought well back into tow by the Nepalese team.
That's the end of Airy. He's bowled his 4 overs, 1 for 33. Magnificent performance. Got a richly deserved wicket in that 4th over. The final wicket of Jordan Silk bowled him for 19. So the batting card there. Darcy Short led the way with 51 off 34 before he was bowled by Lamashane. Weatherald 11. Dickman with a ripping wrong-un from Lamashane. The 3rd ball duck. Carroll 18. Silk, who's just starting to wind up and look dangerous, out for 19. And so Nepal winning the toss, electing to bowl. Looks the right decision at the moment. They're going at under 10 and over. 6 overs remaining.
And 21 extras as well, which means they could be, in theory, on 109. That one's just sneaked up. Again, had to be tight between the wickets. Just snuck through for one there. Andrews maybe not as confident as he first thought. Hammond back on strike. He seems like he's burst out of the blocks. That fair on the first 4 on his first ball. But yet to add much more since then. Straight back to the bowler from Hammond. And Shahab Alam in now. This is his 3rd over.
The length they're bowling is absolutely fantastic. Right up in the block hole. Not too many short balls, and the strike batsmen are having trouble digging it out and working it away. They need to try and change the length a little bit.
Alarm comes again. That one has beaten all the fielders. That'll go through for another boundary. Andrews slowly starting to build some momentum in his game. Straight down past the bowler. Won't quite make the boundary line. Squeeze through for another 2 though. Cracks that one again over the top of the fielders' heads and through for another boundary line, the 2nd of the over. And this one may be a little bit more costly than they've been the last 5 overs or so. Its previous 2 overs, Alarm 6 and 4. This one's already reached double figures. How is that wicket in the last over there? From Airy. live now. And at the start of the 16th over, it'll be the captain again with ball in hand. This will be his third over coming up. Oh, first ball of the over, and he's claimed a wicket. And it might be that danger man. It is Matt Hammond, the local boy. Gone. Another clean bowl, Rob Cross.
Yeah, great wicket again. Once more, the full delivery and the batsman hitting over the top of it. Hammond goes. And this bowling performance has been absolutely fantastic. Short early on, was dominating. We looked set for a huge NT strike score, but once the slow bowlers started coming on, slightly quicker through the air, tossing up the odd one, but their length has been the key. And that was a delicious delivery. That was tossed up a little bit more, hitting all over the top of it was Hammond. And another big wicket. Again, slowing down the scoring rate of the NT strike.
Yeah, really been quelled at the moment. Rowett's first wicket of the innings. He said his third bowling for the night. He's gone for 5 and for 6, so he's been relatively stingy with the ball as well. Been a part of their recovery with the ball. Now just directing some fielders. Cadell McMahon coming in. He's off and away. Just pushed through for a single to start his innings.
Pretty good fielding there by Kushal at the on the long on boundary. He got a bit of an awkward bounce. It scooted off the turf, which I think you pointed out earlier can get a bit slippery, and almost had to take it Australian rule style over his head.
McMahon had to duck there to get out of the way of the ball, but again they squeezed through for just another single.
We'll bring the score to you shortly.
We're getting close to that 150 run mark as we get towards the 17th over here. Game 5, top end series. And that one's beaten one. In the outfield, Airy, he picks it up and gets it back.
Good over by Rohit. He's conceded just 14 runs into his third over.
A little bit of a misfield there. Not too costly. Again, just the one run off that one.
So a wicket and 5 runs. Well, it's pretty good. 3 overs, 1 for 15 by my reckoning.
Yeah, very well done by the captain. Maybe looked a little bit nervous, as a lot of them did at first, but they've steadied for sure. Oh, and here comes potentially the danger man. Unsure which team he's going to be dangerous to, but Sandeep Lamashane, his bowling has been electric tonight. And this is going to be his 4th over as well, I think. No, just his 3rd. Claimed 2 big wickets, Dickman and Short. And he comes again. Oh, well hit. Just the one. Andrews needing to be careful there, a little bit too cute. NT strike, 6 for 148, approaching that 150 mark. 16 overs and 2 balls in. Reverse sweep. Keeping it very tight there. Andrews not able to squeeze one. And there they finally get through again. Just another single. Nepalese fielding's been very good these last 5 or 10 overs, Rob. And that run rate has been taken well down.
Absolutely, in the 17th over. Haven't quite cracked 150 yet. Have now.
NT strike, 6 for 149 after 17 overs. Hoping to get a little bit more out of these last few overs of their innings. Andrews on 19 and Del McMahon on 6.
Yeah, 3 overs remaining, so I doubt very much they're going to get that 200. They look like they're going to sail past it early on. Brilliant fight back by Nepal. It's possible they could struggle to get any more than about 180. Down in the lower reaches of the batting order.
Well fielded there. Throw it. Again, the captain coming in. This will be his 4th over as well. Managed to claim the scalp of Matt Hammond last over. His last over, I should say. Be hoping for a little bit more of that. That one well fielded again. Threatened to run over the boundary line. Again, just allowing one through. Allowing 2 through there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is Rohit's 4th over, but we'll just check the scorers perhaps at the end of the innings.
I've got him through for 3 already prior to this.
If he hadn't hit that, I think that might have been called a wide, but T20, you swing at anything, especially with inside 3 overs remaining. Good innings by Andrews. He's just building slowly. It's important he stays there. We're running on everything.
NT strike side just looking a little bit unsettled, even though they've been in, Andrews and McMahon, for a few overs together now. They just haven't quite found their groove. Not really trying to reach, as you said, something like 170 or 80. They're just trying to go through the motions at the moment. That one called wide. Flicks that one up and over. Has that reached? No, not quite.
Excellent running again by McMahon. He saw that the fielder had pretty much taken the ball, but he called Andrews through for the 2nd run. He was running to the danger end. Got there comfortably.
And final ball of the over for Rohit. Swing and a miss. Andrews. NT strike 6 for 158 off 18 overs.
So 8 off his last over. I have him down for 4 overs, 1 for 23. The skipper. Not a bad return. And total 6 for 158 with 2 overs remaining. So 180, I reckon, will be a pretty good effort from here. And Nepal are right in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. As we've mentioned a few times, very shaky to start off with. 19 off that first over. Halfway through in the ninth, they also conceded 17. But other than that, it's been a really, really tight innings.
We might see, potentially, long way to go, first win by a team chasing them.
We could well do. And it'll be Lamashane again. I think this one is his 4th over coming up. It is. Oh, and that one is well wide.
Lamashane's bowled pretty well, but that's the sort of thing I'd bowl.
He's been a bit all over the place today as well. A couple of really, really impressive wickets, but he's also been costly. That 17 was off one of his overs. I think the same over. He got 4 fours to start, and you thought, oh, this is getting costly. Then he's gone through and taken Darcy short. NT strike 6 for 163.
Strange start to this over. A wild no ball to start with, and then he tried to bowl a quicker ball. That was dispatched for 4. So a little bit of the good work potentially could be undone in this penultimate over.
It can be costly, Lamashane. Oh, is that gone?
How slick was that move by the keeper? Brilliant keeping.
McMahon stumped. Gone for 12. I was about to say, Rob, that McMahon and Andrews, now Andrews is on 24. Are they looking like they might explode for these last couple of overs? Not to be. Take a look at this. Out of his crease and bang, as you said, very slick and quick by the keeper. Asif will open the batting as well, or number 2, keeping tonight his first real involvement there.
3rd wicket for Lamashane. It's been a mixed bag, to be fair, but he's bowled a couple of rippers. That ball then, and an earlier wrong-un to dismiss Jacob Dickman, the number 3 for NT strike. So he's bowled some deliveries that would have done Shane Warne proud, and he's bowled some other deliveries that perhaps not so good. But exciting cricketer. A bit of banter with Darcy Short was good fun. They ended friends when Short was dismissed. So good theatre from this cricketer.
He's not going to like me saying this, but that's one wicket keeper being stumped by the other, Rob. Bit of an anomaly there.
Yep, good pickup.
Bowling attack now in with the bat. Kane Richardson. He won't have long at the crease. 18.5 overs gone.
Tall, powerful man. If he starts swinging, they'll go a long way.
Again, good running. They've maintained that the whole innings, the NT strike team. Good running between the wickets. No exception there. Squeeze through for another 2. 165. And over. And the ball left. maybe could have approached that. Instead, let it come to him.
Yeah, I agree, Will. I thought he could have had a go at catching that.
I think Lamashane's just sort of said the same thing to him. Arms out, and he sort of said, what's going on
4
there?
wickets, mate. What are you doing? Yeah, just showing him how to cup his hand. Maybe he lost sight of it, Will. He gave up on it pretty early. The murky sky above. Lost in the lights, maybe. Take a wicket there. New batsman in, chance for Pfeiffer, not to be.
Very quick by the bowler there. Not to be. One over left. NT strikes 7 for 167. What more can they put on top of that? What's the total they'll set for Nepalese in the second innings here at DXC Arena?
Lamashane finishes his 4 overs, 3 for 38. Excellent bowling. It's Captain Rohit's 4 overs, 1 for 23. Airy, 4 overs, 1 for 33. Slow bowlers have done excellently to restrict NT strike, who lost their first wicket in the 4th over with the score on 46. They were flying early.
It will be Shahab Alam, final over the Nepalese in this innings. So far he's produced 4, 6 and 12. Conceded, rather. Andrews on 25. Most likely at the moment he's still on strike. We're going to see some big swings from him this last over, Rob.
Yeah, I think that's all we've got. 5 balls remaining.
Have a crack. Misses that one.
Gee, that was very close to a wide ball. He's still standing looking back at the umpire. Believe it.
Bang, that one's coming our way. Did it clear the rope? 6 for Andrews, and there's that big swing coming. So he now puts them up to 173. Maybe that 180 is in sight. Still realistic.
Been any really important innings by Andrews. He's sort of kept the middle order together, 31 of 25.
Lets that one through. That'll be called wide. And Andrews only been betted by short so far. Squeezes through. That might be his last strike for this innings. Richardson now to face 5th ball of the over. Directing traffic there. Just reassembling the field. Salam got him in here. Oh, what's Richardson got him in here? It's up, it's in the lights, it's caught. Taken there by Kushal Bertel, who opened the batting in about 15 minutes time, but for now, can bask in the glory of that catch and sends Richardson on his way. 3 runs off 3 balls.
Yeah, excellent bowling by Alam. He's been important. Yet another one of the slow bowlers that has really pegged back the run rate for the NT strike. Excellent catch. It was in the air a long time. Had to come in from the boundary about 15 metres or so. Diving full length forward and gives Alam his second wicket. Richardson goes for 3.
So in comes Hamish Martin, captain of the Palmerston Cricket Club up here. Expect to see a bit more of him next innings. Spin bowler, I believe. And he'll face one ball. Just a bit more if it's a sundry rock, but otherwise just out for one.
Plenty of those. And he tipped it. A couple of balls to go. That's all Richardson had in the kit bag. It was a big hit, but mistimed it badly. Perhaps a slightly slower ball. Hand came off the bat and had no real power on the shot, and so an excellent catch. Player running in from the boundary rope. Wonderful performance by Nepal. Fight back from none for 46 in the 4th over to probably keep them under 180, barring a 6 from the last ball.
I wonder if the big fella's got it in him. As you said, he's the 9th drop, 10th in the batting order here. Bang. No 6 there, no boundary. Squeeze through, and I think they've gotten to there. Good running again between the wickets. So NT strike will end their first innings with the bat at the top End Series. 8 for 177. Top scorer Darcy Short with 51 off 34. And as we said, an important innings there from Tom Andrews as well with 32 off 26. It's an interesting start from the Nepalese side. 19 off that first over they conceded and really steadied from there. A run rate of just 8.85 and total set for them to chase of 178. Disappointing scores there as well. Jacob Dickman with that duck, a bit disappointed. Weatherald thought he might get a little bit more from him as well, just given his recent form on this ground too. And Matt Hammond, another local boy, just 5 off 6.
The extras there, 24 extras, really bolstering that score. So winning the toss, electing to bowl was a good result. And there's the bowling card. Kami went for 15 and we didn't see him again. After that, Singh, the other medium pacer, got a wicket, but it was quite expensive. 2 overs for 16. It was all done by the slower bowlers. Eri, 4 overs, 1 for 33. Lamashane, excellent bowling. Quite expensive, but 3 key wickets, 3 for 38. And Alam at the end there finishes with 2 for 32 off 4 overs. But considering the first wicket went down when the score was 46 in just the 4th over, to finish off with 8 for 177 was a great effort by Nepal in the field.
Set a total of 178.
Are you looking to hit your studies for six? Make the move to Australia's Northern Territory and start a world-class partnership where your potential can glide through boundaries and you can rack up runs in places you've never imagined. Enjoy our laid-back lifestyle and help us build what's next. When this over is over, think about getting on a good wicket and consider studying in Australia's Northern Territory. Authorised by the Northern Territory Government, Darwin.
Visiting Darwin, Australia? Make your stay a winning one at Darwin Airport Resorts. Just minutes from the airport and a short drive to the city, it's the ideal base for travellers chasing sun, culture or the cricket. With 3 comfortable hotels, 2 inviting pools and 2 on-site dining options, everything you need is right here. Relax, recharge and enjoy the top end at Darwin Airport Resorts.
far now. Welcome back to Game 5 of the Top End Series. NT Strike have set a total of 178 for the Nepalese side to chase. I'm Wilswar. With me tonight is Rob Cross tonight, and it was a pretty topsy-turvy innings from the Nepalese bowlers. Conceded 19 in that first over and then really reduced the run rate. Almost got to a point of bowling out the NT Strike side. Coming in now, Tom Menzies. Has he gotten a wicket first ball? No. But they're ready to celebrate by the looks of it. Opening up the batting here for the Nepalese side. Kushal Bertel on strike, and the wicket keeper, Mohammad Asif Sheikh.
That ball jagged back a long way. Well, sort of pitched outside off stump, short of a length, but cut back alarmingly. Did pretty well in the end not to play it onto his stumps.
Swinging almost at shadows there. A little bit nervous as they were to start their bowling innings, the Nepalese side. Menzies the only player not to come in for a bat in that innings. Even spinner Hamish Martin went in for a ball. 2 down and 2 dot balls. I'll get some lift. Pushed out, chase there. Richardson will get it comfortably before the line. There was a little slip up at the crease from the opener Bertel, but he's managed to recover and have pushed that through. I think they might even have gotten 3 off that one. They have, so they're away a runner ball at the moment, statistically speaking.
Bit of a streaky shot, didn't have full control of it through the covers, but was able to pierce the field. It was catchable height and didn't make the boundary indication. It wasn't terribly well timed. So they'll take it though. The chase is on. Just another 175 to get.
And that required run rate of 8.97 seems very attainable. In saying that, there were patches in that bowling innings where Nepal just didn't quite look likely. Ooh.
She's got the real in-swing going. It was a full delivery and it was curving back in towards that off stump. Just dug out by Asif.
Straight into Richardson's hand there. Up there at mid-off.
Just 19 years of age, Tom Menzies. Looks to have a pretty good future.
Barely looks a day older, if I may say so myself, though a lot of people say the same about me, Robin. I'm much older than that, unfortunately. Good keeping there. Cadell McMahon. One wide though for Menzies, so another ball to bowl. 4 off this first over. Gets it out again, mid-off, just the one. And the first over for the Nepalese side, they have managed 5 runs. No, just the 4 runs, in fact.
Bit of a different to the strikers' first over of 19. But no wickets down. Menzies has got a really interesting history. He's played 10 underage national tournaments. 4 under-19 tournaments, so he's just one of these players that has developed very, very young. Had a chance now to play for the NT Strike, so he's developing pretty quickly.
Kane Richardson onto the attack now. One. Thought he nearly got a bit of an edge to it, but it's gone further than that. Back into the keeper there. Pushed for 1 there.
Kane Richardson, 25 one-day internationals for Australia, 36 T20 internationals. Very experienced player. A bit quicker than the Nepalese fast bowlers, who didn't have a great impact. It was the slow bowlers in their innings, but these 2 quicks for NT Strike going okay.
Steady block there.
A lot of hustle in both their run-ups. Both Menzies and Richardson really charge in at the crease. So we can see Tom Andrews, number 5 there, fielding it mid-off, just warming up. He was second highest scorer in the innings for the NT Strike. 32 off 26. Stitched the middle order together when wickets were falling around him.
Good strike there. It's gone out to square leg, and that's gone for a 6. Sort of wondered what we get from this Nepalese batting outfit tonight, and that, if it's anything to go by, shows they can play.
I think they'll give it a shake. Beautiful shot. Just in the slot. Opened up the stance, swung across the line. Ball going down the leg side anyway from Richardson. Made beautiful contact right off the middle of the bat.
That one is pushed out. Offside.
Good batsmanship too, because that ball, a good reply from Richardson. Didn't like being hit for 6. It was short, sharp in the chest, right at the heart, and Asif got in behind it. Good cricket shot. Good battle, isn't it? Richardson and Asif.
Gnawed off that ball.
Full credit to the curators. This pitch we saw in the first innings had plenty in it for the slower bowlers. They did the damage from the Paul. Now Menzies and Richardson in particular, we know bowls pretty quickly. He's getting the pitch, the ball to spit off the wicket. Good even bounce though. He's really bending the back. And Asif did well to keep that down.
That one through to the keeper. So they've shown they can play that massive 6 from Sheikh, but they have looked pretty nervous otherwise. Finished their second over, 0 for 11. 7 off Kane Richardson. Menzies will have another crack at it. 4 off his first. And a little bit more consistent. The Nepalese side, we saw the start of their innings. They were just almost giving people a go just to get them involved in the game before settling a little bit later on people like Airy, like Alarm, and like Labuschagne. Lamashane, I should say. Menzies straight back at it. Meanwhile, for NT strike.
We have got a game on our hands, I reckon, Will. Not the slashing start that NT Strike had, but they've weathered a couple of pretty good early overs from these NT Strike quicks, the Nepalese.
Back over the bowler's head. That one will be chased to the boundary line. Richardson will stop it in its tracks. There's still good running between the wickets again. We've seen that all night.
That was tremendous. I didn't think there was 3 in that, and they have got 3 runs. Didn't quite get all, didn't time it as he would have liked. Didn't make it to the boundary line, but excellent running.
Yeah, great start. Probably unexpected total in the end from the Australian side in terms of how much Nepal contained them to. And as I said, they've shown that they can play if they can just get some confidence on the ground. Oh, another one. That one won't reach the boundary either. But again, off to deep square leg. Menzies now just taking in the motions. Just a single there.
I'm loving the respect the crowd's showing. The cymbals, the drums going. As soon as the bowler starts at the top of his mark, it goes silent.
Yeah, been a very good and very fair crowd all night as well. Not sort of cheering for one side or the other, but just any good display of cricket gets an applause.
Well, it's a great Nepalese community in Darwin, isn't it? We have a Nepalese festival, which is really well attended. So very exciting to see their nation's team come.
Ooh, that one comes off.
Not afraid to charge the bowlers, these two.
Menzies again, just 4 off this over as well so far. 1 more to come. That one through to third man. And then back in. So they just squeeze another one out there. 0 for 16 after 3 overs.
So in comparison, the NT Strike with no wicket for 36. So way behind, but as we know, from about the 5th over, that's when the score started to slow down a bit. Wickets started to fall. The spinners came on for Nepal. Did a great job of containing the NT Strike batsmen.
8 off 9, 7 off 9, and 1 extra so far. By this stage, the Nepalese side as well had conceded maybe 13 or so odd sundries.
And it may well be the difference in the end. Well, long way to go. They might get the runs, might start to lose some wickets, but the The 20-odd extras in the end. I think it was 23 or 4 extras. It's way too many.
First change, and it's Matt Hammond coming in from the southern end here. Disappointing display with the bat for Hammond, the local boy. Just 5 runs off 6 balls. Taken 377 wickets in his career up here in Darwin, at an average of 21. Oh, and if you don't mind, with the first ball, he claims the first wicket of the innings. Add that one to the record book, Matt.
And again, those full balls are doing the damage, tossing it up. And the batsman playing all around it. Just played down the wrong line. Hits the off stump and a big wicket for the NT strike. These two had started pretty promisingly against the quicks. But yet again, it's the slow bowling that's come on. First ball of Hammond's spell. And he removes Bertel. For 8, 1 for 16. Target 178. He's enjoyed some good success, not only locally, as you point out, Will, but he's been pretty successful in this tournament in the past as well. Very good all-round cricketer. Lokesh Bam, the new batsman.
Easing himself into the crease. Bam. Another steady block there. Good circuit breaker from Hammond at the start is over. Mind you. Oh, he's got 2 from the over already. 2 for naught. Naught for 2. 2 for naught. Hammond in this over. That one down and caught by Andrews.
Yeah, some first over. It was a pretty good catch in the end. Wasn't completely timed as well as Bam would have liked, but Andrews had to stretch up away to his left, running back with the flight of the ball. So what began as an okay start, enter Hammond in the 4th over, and from none for 16, it's 2 for 16. 4 balls, 2 for none. Pretty handy.
Definitely starting to try and make amends for that 5 runs he got in his batting innings. Might try and drop that now and just go by the 2 wickets he's claimed so far in 4 balls, Rob.
And of the 10 wickets to fall so far, 8 in the innings of NT strike, 8 for 177, and now 2 wickets in the Nepal innings. Just one of those 10 has gone to a pace bowler. It's been all the slow bowlers tonight.
And I think of those as well, just 2 of them haven't been clean bowled. Martin doing the field work there.
Yeah, there's been 3 catches, 1 stumped, and the rest have all been bowled.
That will end Matt Hammond's first over with ball. Not a good one for the Nepalese side. They dropped 2 wickets, picked up no more runs. Nepal 2 for 16.
Yeah, first maiden of the match. There were no maidens at all bowled in the NT strike innings. And the first maiden of the match, a double wicket maiden to the off spinner, Hammond. Great start. And now Tom Andrews, who plays for the Sydney Thunder. in the Big Bash. Last season in BBL 14 took 11 wickets in 10 matches. Very well credentialed cricketer, a local here in Darwin.
Already involved in the field, obviously taking that last catch. Another spinner, that one goes off to cover.
So comparing after 4 overs, NT Striker 1 for 46. Nepal 2 for 16, big gap.
Collected at deep point.
It's amazing what a wicket does, just saps the energy of the crowd.
Another single there, starting to get into a rhythm. It's just not fast enough at the moment, Rob Cross, and they need to start sort of trying to build up that run rate before it gets beyond the realms of possibility. I think almost every shot this over has just bellied off that side for a single.
Excellent arm ball in by Andrews. Just coming back in at the batsman, cramping him for room rather than turning away to the offside. Period of consolidation required though, and then picking off the singles. Panic just yet, but yeah, you're right. Just need to keep the scoreboard ticking over, not lose another wicket.
Finally one on the leg side. Another single, not for 6, and off Andrews' first over. Nepal 2 for 22, 5 overs through their innings.
NT Strike also were 2 down after 5 overs, but they had 55 on the board.
So 33 runs shy, Nepal. Still plenty of time, but you saw that run rate sort of hovering around 4, required up at 10. They don't want to let it linger there for too long, or they'll, as you said, find themselves out of the game pretty quick. Matt Hammond to resume bowling, and why wouldn't you with a 2 for 0 over? Is there more damage to come from him? Risky play. They survive it. Another single. Comes in, long on. That game on our hands mightn't be as competitive as we thought if they can't get on. That's a good strike though.
Just keep picking out the fielders at the moment, don't they? They just need to find a couple of boundaries. Just get that run rate up. As the panic may well start to set in the next couple of overs. They are coming up to...
There we go. Is that going to go straight down the throat there? And that is another wicket to Matt Hammond. He's already picked up 3, all 3 of the innings so far. And it's another catch, this time going to Connor Carroll. Hammond, 2 wickets he's taken, conceded just 3 runs. That one straight down the throat of Carroll, as we said.
3 now for Hammond. It's extraordinary. 3 for 3 in his second over. Amazing. Seaford looked pretty comfortable, but that pressure was starting to build. Was tossed out wide. Big square drive, lofted, but again picking out the fieldsman. It's one thing that the NT Strike did mostly was to find the gaps in the field and get lots of boundaries. Kushal Amala is the new batsman to join his captain, Rohit.
Again, with that wicket, they just seem again to be on the back foot again. Can't spend too long in here trying to get the feelers for it. They've got to go out and start scoring some runs. Rob, already that's almost, oh, not quite, but it's getting up to that sort of 12 runs per over mark. It's double 84, 168 or something. So not quite there yet, but it's going to grow if they don't get some runs back on the board.
Yes, 6 overs down, 3 for 25. NT Strike 2 for 59 at the same time. So well behind on the runs. Already lost 3 wickets. Big task ahead, and with Hammond taking 3 wickets and bowling well. Tom Andrews, a bit of a star of the BBL at the other end. It's a slow bowler's night. Just pushed to point, and lucky the throw is slightly astray. Keeper McMahon has just a gentle ask of the square leg umpire, and it's not out, just made it through, but pressure on in the field. Kushal on strike, hit the score.
Those wickets really putting a halt into the momentum of the game here. Not that NT Strike would be complaining. Very happy with how they've started their innings. Misfield there. Not really with any huge consequence. Marla's still yet to get off the ground, or he gets one there. And Rowett was a bit all over the place in the field, wasn't he? He dropped a catch, but ended up being a no ball and a few misfields, but he might have taken a wicket in there as well. And there he goes. Clears the fence. Maybe it's the captain who can spurn things on. Rowett. It's a great boundary there. Deep mid wicket. Crosses over the line there. Well, we thought about it again. Misfired and won't get a run off that last one. And that one conceding, or scoring 8 runs, I should say, Nepal. Now 3 for 33 after 7.
Will they continue with Hammond? You'd think they would while he's taking wickets, or are they going to mix it up? Looks like Hamish Martin gives his cap to the umpire at the southern end, and there'll be a bowling change after Matt Hammond completed 2 overs, I should say, took 3 for 3. And must come into man of the match contention.
Yeah, you'd think so with a spell like that. I mean, it's definitely sort of changed things. Before he started taking those wickets, we thought this could be a really interesting game, but if you just look at the stats in front of you there, those orange lines just doing much better. That 7th over, Nepal started to get something back, though that was one of NT strikes worst of the match. They scored just 5. That's a good strike, which has come in there from Marla. Just the one off it though. Martin now coming in. Oh, again, he looked like he sort of hesitated there and just struck at the last minute.
Scurry to run. I think Kushal might have just made it home, I think. If it had hit the stumps, he might have been back towards the pavilion.
Oh, bang. That'll clear it as well. Maybe this is threatening to be a dangerous partnership from Rowett and from Marla.
Yeah, 6 in each of the last 2 overs has been really promising from Nepal. Marla goes up to 8. Hustling action of Martin. Tossed it up. Beautifully struck by Kushal Marla.
Maybe they should have stuck with Hammond while he was on a hot streak. Keeping there from McMahon. And that one's coming right in our direction. And Dickman can't quite get to it, so that'll be a 4. This is the most expensive over so far.
Yeah, 12 off it. Excellent over by Nepal and getting themselves back in the game. Martin expensive in his first over.
Again, favouring that offside. That one has picked out a fielder again. Just the one. 13 off the over. Nepal 3 for 46.
Yeah, excellent over. Gets them back in the equation. They still trail the comparative at 8 overs. NT strike were 2 for 73. They smashed 17 off the next over. And in fact, they smashed 30 runs off the next 2 overs. And then, to Nepal's credit, they got right back into it after that stage. So they'll probably slip further behind, you'd imagine, in the next 2 overs, but they shouldn't lose heart because from the 10 over mark, Nepal got right back into the contest and restricted in the end NT strike to just 177.
And it looks like it's going to be the captain coming in for a bowl here. Darcy Short. And he'll do the fielding as well. No, he won't. Rowett at 13 off 13. Love to get another couple of boundaries if you can. Just put a little bit more pressure on. And as you said, Rob, these next 2 overs are where they might slip behind.
Just got to maintain their concentration, composure.
Beats one fielder, finds another. Carroll works it back to the pitch now. And again, sustaining some light pressure on the scoreboard, but it's just slipping away from them, that run rate. Oh, bang. That one's been skied. Oh, dropped a sitter.
Tom Andrews, you would read about it, would you? Player of his ability and experience.
Maybe he was just a little bit too casual there. Short seemed to laugh it off. Wouldn't be too happy though. And he wouldn't be happy with Rowett just going long. And that one clears the boundary line as well.
.50 comes up after that drop catch in the 9th over. 3 for 55 now. Is that a key point in the match?
Captain bowling a captain. Dropped one ball, hit for 6 the next. And that one again finds the fielder. Been a little bit sloppy these last couple of overs, NT strike. Maybe they thought, oh, this is going to be a little bit easier than we thought, and suddenly a little bit careless.
Yeah, and they brought the crowd back into the game. They had gone quiet a couple of overs ago, but a few sixes. No more wickets. Captain going well, joined by Kushamala. The partnership's gone up to 31 between this pair. And after 9 overs, 3 for 56, as I say, we're entering a period of a couple of overs where NT Strike went berserk. They were 3 for 90 after 9. They got 13 in their 10th over. But after that, they were pegged right back as the quick Kane Richardson comes back into the attack.
Rowett just levelling himself a little bit. And maybe the last 2 overs off Short and off Martin are the expensive ones from the NT Strike's perspective. This middle patch is where they let Strike get away. Again, favouring that offside there. Seem to find a fielder almost every time if it's not clearing the rope. That one's picked a spot. 3 for a single.
Yeah, well played. Wasn't quite to the length of that ball, but made sure he didn't hit it too hard and placed it. I was able to get a single. Could easily have spooned it up to the fieldsman at a wideish mid-off. Good patient batting now. You can be patient in T20 within reason.
That one to leg side. Again, just another single. How patient can you be? Still nearly at 12. They haven't quite crossed over that barrier of a 12 or required run rate of 12.
Yeah, I think if it starts to swell over 15 or 16 and over, that's when there might be a bit of strife.
Popping it out.
At the moment, it's manageable.
Richardson again keeping tight. His first over, the second of the match. Just let 7 through. One of those was that 6, which made you think maybe Nepal is going to be pretty handy with the bat tonight. Oh, and that one's just flicked up. Is that going to be caught? There he goes. He just says to the crowd, how about that one? And they get their 4th wicket this time to Kane Richardson, caught by Hamish Martin.
Yeah, big blow. The captain Rohit goes for 23. The last ball of the 10th over. And Richardson takes the wicket, skied down to fine leg, just getting under it, scooping it around the corner. And not the easiest of catches. He had to run in 5 or 10 metres, go down on one knee, turn around. He must have been getting a bit of a ribbing from the crowd, maybe. Some of the Nepalese fans in that pocket of the oval, perhaps, holding up his hand to his ear. And a big wicket for NT Strike, just bringing the game back into their control. 4 for 60 after 10 at the same time. NT Strike were 3 for 103, but importantly, at a big wicket, it's the captain going for 23.
There you have it. As you said, at the same time, 43 runs further in front NT Strike was. A bit of ground to catch up on this Nepalese side. They've got the tools and the kit to do it. It's just how frequently they can bring them out of the bag.
Well, the key man, we think, given some of his statistics, Airy has come in. A 9-ball 50. He's one of few batsmen in the world to score 6 sixes in 1 over. Martin went for 13 from his first over. He's gone to Kushal. He just took a good catch. He's getting into the game, and that was almost lofted back to him. One bounce diving away to his right. Completes the stop. But for a moment, that lofted ball looked like it was headed towards his right hand. Energetic approach, and the ball slips from his hand and goes backwards. It's a dead ball. So even though we are in magnificent dry season here in the top end, it's still a little bit slippery out there. Players running around, probably still getting a sweat up. But it is a stunning night. Not much humidity. What do you think, mid-20s maybe? Little breeze to speak of.
Yeah, it will be a little bit dewy out there on these night games, and I think you might see a difference in score.
Martin tries again. He lands this one, and it's a dot ball. So good comeback.
Be interesting to see the difference in scoring that you have from the afternoon games and the evening games, Rob, because those day games are going to be very dry.
Yeah, good point. Kushal through the covers. I don't think it carried. Good diving save there, but they scurry through for a single, bringing Airy on strike. A lot of ground to make up now. They were over 100 at this time in their innings, the NT Strike.
Ground to be made up, though. It was the next 3 overs where the Nepalese sort of kept them to just 14 runs. So if there can be a few big hits here, they could get right back in it over the next little spell.
Martin goes around the wicket. Good arm ball, came in cramping Airy up, and he plays it backward of point, straight to the field, no run. So after going for 13 in his first over, just 1 run off the first 4 balls off his second over, the 11th of the innings. The strike starting to take control of this game, just pops it up and doesn't carry back to the bowler.
Just flirting with him a little bit. Second one of those this over.
Airy must be conscious that they're into the middle order now and they can't afford too many mistakes. Need to score runs, but need to stay there at the same time. Punches that one through point, straight to the field. once again picking out the fielders. Good field placement by the NT strike, and Nepal struggling to move it around the field. So ends the over, just 2 from it. And after 11 overs, Nepal, in reply to the NT strikes, 8 for 177, 4 for 62. Nepal won the toss, elected to bowl first.
And I think they are going to bring the danger man on again, Matt Hammond, taking 3 wickets.
So Hammond, took the first 3 wickets. Birtel bowled for 8. Asif made 11. And Bam a duck. Hammond's first over, he took 2 wickets. Those of Birtel and Bam. So he's got 3 for 3 coming on for his 3rd over. Again coming on from the southern end here. Energetically waving to his fielder out at mid-wicket to move around a little bit. Over the wicket, the offie comes in again. Darts it into leg stump. They've got 1, briefly considered 2. Was never going to be on, just a single, total to 63. First time that runs conceded are more than his wickets taken.
So far.
Good point. Goes around the wicket to the lefty. Flights it again. Yorker length. Dug out. Another single. Crowd getting into it. Is there a wave?
Lively crowd tonight. I don't think there is a wave.
Hammond to the right-hander, back over the wicket on leg stump. Punts through mid-wicket. Singles aren't going to cut it. I think my patience comment is out the window now. They've really got to start to have a go. 113 required from 51. Kushal Muller's the set batsman. Just checking the field. Hammond was ready to go. Batsman wasn't. 3 singles so far from the over. Another full delivery right up in the block hole. 4th single of the over. Needs so much more than that.
They'd love 6 sixes from Airy right now, wouldn't they?
Oh, yeah. What's he got in him? Short, pulled through mid-wicket. Can't beat the field again, though.
They keep picking them out. That's probably their biggest problem at the moment. Hitting it well, but they're just not clearing enough to get more than 1 or 2. In fact, they haven't even gotten 2 for a long, long time either. If at all, they got 3 back in the 3rd over.
Last ball of the 3rd over for Hammond. Lofted down to long on. He completes a picket fence over. Singles off every ball. And after 12 overs, Nepal are 4 for 68. Muller 21, Airy 4. Same situation after 12 overs. It was the strike 4 for 113.
Required run rate. I'll finally get it. One of these overs, Rob. 13.75. So approaching that 15. Now only at 5. They really need to try and bridge that gap. Otherwise, it's just going to grow exponentially. Marla, 21 off 18. Airy, supposedly the danger man, but hasn't really found his straps just yet.
Kushal forced back by Darcy Short. Good bowling. Conceded 10 in his first over. Paul would love to get another 10 plus a few more off this over. Being well restricted in the run chase. Outside the off stump. Cut. Once more, misfield, but no damage done really. Just came back for a second rather than the ball spilling over the boundary rope. So a bonus run.
They're letting their skipper down with the ball in the field, aren't they, Rob?
Yeah. Drop catch. Misfielding. Kushal Muller lofts down the ground and finds the fielder long off. Boundary rope is proving elusive. Hit some sixes a few overs ago, but since then it's been ones, dots, wickets, twos, nothing more. What's Airy got? Comes with some good credentials. Misses the ball outside the off stump. Well bowled. Darcy Short, dot ball.
It's a bit of an Airy there.
Nice.
Learn from the best, Rob.
That's a wide. Must be a wide. Too far outside the off stump. Crowd trying to lift their team. Great colour. Lofted. I think this one's picked the gap. Will it have the power on it? It won't. Brilliant fielding there. I think it might be Dickman sliding away to his left to complete the fielding. And just a couple. They scurry back for three. I think it was only two in the end, so excellent fielding. Two men out on the leg side, and they were able to shut it down. Dragged from outside the off stump. Well struck. They've got one. That's all they'll get. He hit it too well. Ends the over, 7 from it. And after 13 overs, Nepal 4 for 75. At the same time, NT Strike were 4 for 119. So they're falling way behind.
44 runs short at the same time. Good bowling there, as you said, coming from Matt Hammond. 3 wickets, 9 runs. Great economy there. Tom Menzies, he's also done well. Just had the 2 overs to start off the innings. Martin, he was a little bit more expensive. So too Darcy Short. Short let down a little bit. Could have a wicket to his name. And otherwise, Richardson, he's taken that other wicket. 4th of the match.
Hammond's last over. Nicely driven. We've got one. Once more, too well timed to come back for a second. If he'd just taken a bit of the pace off that, Dickman had to run in and to his right. They probably could have scurried for 2. Kushal drives. This surely is 2 runs in this one. Airy's pushing hard. They've got 1. And Dickman, knowing that he couldn't restrict the second, jogs along and lobs the ball back into the bowler. Intensity must start to lift. I need a couple of boundaries in this over. It's lofted. Dickman's under it. It's going towards the boundary. Dickman can't get to it. A despairing lunge. Too much on it. And Kushal Mulla brings up another 6. Exactly what the Nepalese fans wanted. Total up to 84. They're not out of it.
Feels like that crowd is starting to have another play on this game as well. They're just coming a bit more lively, maybe putting a little bit more momentum behind the bats of their batters.
Hammond tries again. Down a short fine leg. Gets a single.
Already Hammond's most expensive over this one. He's been very good with 3 wickets and really almost changed this game earlier in this innings.
10 off so far. A couple of balls left. Driven. Once more, too well and straight to Dickman. Just need to work the ball around a little bit more. Four for 86. Last ball of Hammond's spell. He's been magnificent. 2 overs, 3 for 3 at one stage. Full toss down the leg side. Has he got it past the fieldsman? He hasn't. Once again, straight to the square leg fielder. And just a single to end Hammond's spell. Terrific bowling. 4 overs, 3 for 21. Doesn't get too much better than that in T20 cricket. And after 14 overs requiring 178 to win, Nepal are 4 for 87.
Yeah, Marla, he's got the most runs so far for the Nepal side. 34 off 25 balls. Needs Airy to really jump in and help him, but Marla himself, if he could get a few more runs and up his own run rate, be a bit better. It's now above 15. 6 overs left in this one. At the same stage, 130 NT strike had, and 5 wickets they'd lost. Andrews back in to the attack.
Kushamala. Lofts high. Fieldsman under it. Makes no mistake. It's Martin again. Once again, I think a kiss to the crowd this time, maybe. Muller goes. He was the big wicket. He was the batsman that was set and starting to get going. And Andrews, commencing his third over, gets the big wicket. And Nepal slumped to 5 for 87.
Yeah, that one's a massive blow. You sort of felt like they needed to keep Marler in there just while he had some pep in his step before Airy could get going, and wasn't necessarily to be Airy, still yet to find his feet, and suddenly he's the man in control in the middle. Be joined at the moment now by Gulshan Kumarjar.
NT strike players enjoying a bit of a drink. Warm conditions compared to other states at this time of year, but a very mild evening here in Darwin. Andrews, his first wicket for the night. Sydney Thunder player. Local NT player. Crowd still enjoying the atmosphere. Gulshan comes out to join Airy. Gulshan Jar. Run rate over 16 now required. Big task.
In fact, they almost need to double their score. They've gotten in 14 overs in the last 6. It's no easy feat at all.
Long pause in play before Gulshan Jar was ready to go, the left-hander. Another field change going on. Dickman there, top of screen, running behind the wicket-keeper. And he goes to a square leg position. As Andrews bowls left arm around the wicket to Gulshan Jar, and he cannot find... Oh, no, they do get through for a single. Possibly wasn't one there, but a run has been allowed to Nepal. They go up to 5 for 88. Gets Airy on strike. A big man in stature, but times the ball pretty well. He's one of the few players to score 6 sixes in one over. A bit of a conversation between Jordan Silk. Andrews is there, the captain short. What that would be about. Doesn't appear to be any change in the field from the previous ball, although the right-hander is now on strike. Keeper McMahon standing still, now goes down as Airy faces Andrews. And lofts down the ground. Martin's in the action again. One bounce, throws it back into the keeper. Airy misses the chance and just gets a single. 89 to get. Exactly halfway. But with just 5.3 overs to get them, Will, to use your mathematics. 14.3 gone, 5.3 remaining. Same number of runs to get as they've made.
Tough from here. Good fielding there from Connor Carroll. He's been pretty good in that field. Clean with his hands.
Yeah, it's been a sharp effort in the field. So Andrews to Airy. With time running out. 88 from 32 required. That's not going to help. Dot ball. Play and a miss outside off stump. Excellent bowling by Andrews. 1 ball to go in his 3rd over. Going at just a tick over 5 and over. And this form of cricket is pretty good for the left arm slow bowler. And another dot ball. The big swing and a miss outside the off stump. Andrews finishes his 3rd over. Excellent figures, 1 for 17.
Just 3 off that over. Now sitting 5 for 90 at the same time. 5 wickets down for the NT strike. They were 52 more runs on the board. And they've just crossed over halfway score-wise, but 3/4 of the way in terms of how much time they've got to score them in. Airy 10 for 14. Was expecting big things. They could still come, but they need to come pretty quickly. And even then, it might be a little bit too little too late. Crowd trying to spurn them on. You'd think it's a little bit more of a Nepalese-based crowd tonight.
Richardson again, 1 for 11 off 2. Starts his 3rd over. Beautiful shot. That's better. Big drive over wide mid-off. The fielder was deep, right on the ring, but it was well struck over his head and over the rope for a much-needed 4. Another 2 or 3 of those. This over would help a lot. What's Gulshan Jar got in him? Richardson stays over the wicket. The left-hander swings again. Goes for the same shot. Slightly wider maybe. Over extra cover this time for 4. That's going to rev up the crowd. 5 for 98.
Suddenly he's the one looking dangerous here, Rob.
Enjoying the pace coming onto the bat off the pitch. It's been a slow bowler's night. We saw across the road in the second of the T20 Internationals, Australia, South Africa the other night, that the South Africans bowled some wonderful slower balls, and that was really hard to hit. In the Australian chase, they just went up to it, fell about 50 runs short. Richardson's just bowling his normal pace, and Gulshan Jar is really enjoying it. Has he got a slower ball? This time it's pitched up. The previous couple of balls are just short of a length or half volleys that Gulshan was able to get under. That one was almost Yorker length. So the excitement of the first 2 balls dissipates slightly. Drums going to recess. Crowd goes quiet. Run rate up to almost 18 and over. 4.5 overs to go. 80 to get. Launches one. Out towards square leg, straight to the field, just 1.
He's fighting for it. Well, they both are. But Jar particularly, he's been really impressive this over. Now it's Airy's turn to have a swing. What can he bring? That run rate now ballooned out to 18.23. Required, sitting at just 6.32. And then a triple their work.
Offside field has been bolstered for Airy. And it's bowled down the leg side and it's a wide. Richardson wants to dispute that, or maybe he's just a bit disappointed. There's no room for error in one-day cricket or limited over any form of limited over cricket. Wasn't far from the pad, but it was down the leg side. Pretty much a wide every time. That might have been a slower ball, short. Airy misses it.
Another Airy.
Yeah. So with that previous wide, the 100 came up in the 16th over. Last ball of Richardson's third over. Has a swing. Makes a slight misfield. They're going to come back for a second. That's good running. Really wasn't far away from the stumps at all. It just trickled outside the circle with that misfield. But Gulshan Jar was quick enough to get through for 2. 5 for 102. And that's called the Manhattan graph. Is that right?
It is.
Love it. NT Strike made 8 for 177. At the same time, after 16 overs on the Manhattan graph, NT Strike was 6 for 147. So 45 runs behind.
Yeah, still a lot of work to do. And they finish relatively strongly, NT Strike as well. So, as we said, Nepal almost need to triple their work rate at the moment. It's going to get tougher. It's more than that now. Required 19 per over. 3 per ball, and then add in a few more on top of that.
Martin's had a busy night in the field with a couple of catches. Big edge down through the vacant slip area. Richardson chases it back and is able to gather it before it goes over the rope. Excellent running. They've come up with 3. So 3 more to the total, up to 105. But it's now close to 20 runs and over required. In the 17th over. Was he just signalling buys then maybe? No, it runs off the bat, I think. That's wide. Just inside the line. It's a no run. So Airy 12 off 17. It's not what Nepal needed. He's having a go, but he's just unable to make sufficient contact. That's got to be wide, but he gets out to it and able to make contact with the bat. So he turned it into a legal delivery. Didn't do him much good. Hit it straight to the field for a single only. 4 off the over, 3 balls remaining. Need some sixes. Gulshan Jar 14 off 7 is pretty good striking. What's he got? Lofts high. Has he lofted long enough? I'm not sure he has. Fieldsman coming around close to the rope. No, indeed he has. Clears Tom Andrews. And a much-needed 6 for Nepal takes him to 5 for 112. With 20 balls remaining in the innings.
Are they coming, Rob?
66 from 20. It's a massive target, but who knows? It's an incredible sport, T20 cricket. 1 more would be good. Lofts again. This time, he might be... No, it's over again. 2 sixes in a row. Nepal stay alive. 5 for 118 with the ball to go in the 17th over. They've got 60 to get. Gulshan Jar. Could he be the hero?
Pulling some tricks out of the jar here.
16 off the over so far. Airy just needs to get him on strike. Reverse sweep. He's bowled him. Well bowled by Martin. Full delivery. He played right across the line rather than play it straight as he had been. He went for a variation. The reverse sweep didn't come off. Bowled underneath his legs. And Martin gets revenge. 3 overs, 1 for 31, having gone for 2 sixes in a row. Finishes off the 17th with a wicket.
And that's the danger man gone yet again. Just on paper, you'd think Airy's the one who's troubling them, but it was Jar who just popped up with those 2 sixes in a row, and you thought maybe they're going to get a run on here, and that unattainable target will suddenly come within distance. Wasn't to be, though. maybe he should have stuck with what he knew, but instead went for something different and has been tangled up in his own mess. Martin's first wicket. Here we go. Bang, that was the first. Straight over the top, never in doubt. Here's a second. That one clearing the rope as well. A little bit closer, but just through the fingertips.
Menzies is back on for NT strike.
And then here, something different through the legs and gone.
Slower ball outside the off stump. Excitement of the previous over has dissipated a bit with the demise of Gulshan Jah. Super Saturday tomorrow. Kicks off with the Renegades versus the Comets across the road at TIO. Here, 2 o'clock, Stars and Hurricanes. Then at TIO at 4 o'clock, Pakistan and the Scorchers. And the day ends with another Nepalese game against Bangladesh, which should be exciting. 6 o'clock here, DXC Arena, as Menzies charges in, bowls to Singh. Singh drives through the covers. Good cricket shot, straight to the fielder out of the sweeping position. He'll bounce the return back into the keeper McMahon and just a single.
Yeah, good variety of games tomorrow. You've got an international clash there between Bangladesh and Nepal, who've been pretty admirable tonight, both searching for their first win. And then you've also got a big bash derby between the Stars and the Hurricanes as well. That'll be Super Saturday for you.
Menzies short. Good bowling. No wide. It was directed over middle and leg stumps, and Airy had her.
He had an Airy.
Just hasn't been able to get his innings going, has he? He's 14 off 20. Chasing 178. Nepal are 6 for 120. They elected to bowl first. And yet another team chasing has gone down. Both in the top end T20 series and also the couple of T20 internationals that were played earlier in the week between South Africa and Australia.
Yeah, some great cricket coming to the top end this dry season. Australia a few weeks ago, of course, as well. That saw some massive scores. And then the T20s earlier this week got the crowds ignited. Now you've got the actual competition here. Menzies very tight to start this innings. 4 off the first and 5 off the third over. Just 3 in this one.
Slower ball. Didn't make full contact, Singh, and up towards a wide long on position just for 1. Good tight bowling by the quick, the 19-year-old. NT Strike made the semi-finals last year before going down to Bangladesh. There's a runner in the crowd trying to get off some maybe a bit of energy. The fact that his team can't win tonight, but he's having a good time. The crowd's had a great night. Menzies into Airy. He's got onto that one. Fielder coming around, throws out the right hand, can't stop it. Airy brings up a boundary in the 18th over to finish the 18th over, in fact. Total to 6 for 126, 52 to get from just 2 overs. Menzies has conceded 17 off his 3 overs.
Six for 126, 52 from 12. Mathematically, still there. Realistically, Rob, I don't know if you could say the same.
Left their run a little bit too late. If they can finish around the 150 mark, that'd be a pretty good result, I think. Looking at some of the better performers tonight, we've obviously seen Hammond was outstanding to start off this innings in the field with 3 for 3 at one point, finished with 3 for 21 from his 4 overs. Lamashane took 3 wickets in the NT strike innings, but when you look at the batsmen tonight, a couple of 30s from either side, only 1 half century. That was to the skipper of NT strike in Darcy Short. As a single there to Nepal. Far too many singles in this innings. Just didn't have the power in their batting. Kept picking out the fielders.
Also, looking at Tom Andrews' game, he played a bit of a steadying role and took a wicket as well.
Yep, absolutely. No, it's a good point. In comes Richardson, swing and a miss from Airy through to the keeper McMahon. Another dot ball goes down against Nepal. 6 for 127. 10 balls remaining in the innings. 51 to get. And you can see that the ball is starting to get a little slippery. Martin helping out his teammate there, just giving the ball a bit of a wipe at the end of each delivery. Richardson looking for his second wicket. That's better by Airy. It's high though, it's going to stay within the rope. Fieldsman comes around, didn't get enough on it. Another wicket goes down and an excellent catch under the high ball there from Connor Carroll. Carroll takes his second catch of the innings. Airy falls for 19. And Nepal go to 7 for 127 in the 19th over. Short ball from Richardson. It was in the air for a long time. Carroll judged it superbly, and Richardson gets his second wicket. Singh remains not out 3. 9 balls remaining. Great night of cricket here at DXC Arena. As we see the worms there, it's been pretty constant all the way through the innings. The red line has been well below the orange line of the NT strike. Couple of wickets early. Didn't help at all as the ball is punched to wide long on. Again, only for a single. That's Sompal Kami, who's come in to join Rupesh Singh. So Singh on 3. One there to Kami. Richardson, wide, lofted high. Might go to the boundary. No, it doesn't. Fieldsman comes around and will restrict the score into a couple. Rupesh Singh considered going back for another. So Richardson wrapping up his over. Into his 4th over. Couple of wickets. Last ball of the 19th over of the innings. Thunders in and missed there by Rupesh Singh. So Richardson finishes his 4 overs, 2 for 27. Pretty good figures from the big man. And after 19 overs, Nepal, after electing to bowl first, sending the NT strike into bat, a 7 for 130 after being set 178 for victory. Never really got going after Hammond came on in the 4th over and took 2 wickets for no runs. A double wicket maiden really set the tone for the Nepalese innings, and they have never been able to catch up. There's brief hope when the skipper Rohit was in. Kushal Malla made 34. But it's been all the NT strike semi-finalists from last year. 5 balls remaining in the innings. Bowled, Andrews gets his second. Big swing and a miss. Nothing to lose for Kami. And Nepal lose their 8th wicket. Andrews has had a good night. After Darcy Short was the mainstay of the top of the innings for the NT strike. He made 51 off 34. They lost some wickets through the middle. Andrews, who came in at number 6, finished not out 32 from 26 and made sure that after a brief rally in the field from Nepal, NT strike got a competitive total. Now in his 4th over has taken 2 for 17. So he's had a great night, the Sydney Thunder player. Took 11 wickets for the Thunder in BBL 14 last season from 10 games. And with 4 balls remaining, he might have a couple more wickets to finish up the innings. He's had a big night. Tossed it up there. Nepalese batsman, nothing really to lose. Swinging across the line. Gives Andrews his second. And he might get his third. Chipped just over his head. And down towards the... Well, it only just trickled outside the circle in the end. There really wasn't much on that at all. Andrews' eyes must have lit up when that ball was popped back. It's just a little bit too high for him from Lamashane. Kushal Singh takes strike with 3 balls remaining. Preferring around the wicket to the right-hander. Chipped away towards wide mid-on. Well fielded there on the boundary. Just a single. Once again, picking out the fielders. They've done it all innings, Nepal. Whereas the NT strike regularly found the gaps and on occasion over the rope. As Nepal have, they've had a number of sixes in this innings, but the ground balls just haven't beaten the fielders. Lamashane bowled well, took 3 for 38 from 4, including the ball of the night, a wonderful wrong-un that dismissed Jacob Dickman for a duck. Last ball of the innings. It's going to be a big win to the strikers to kick off the tournament. In comes Andrews. Has he got a 3rd wicket? It's high in the air. Fielder coming in, won't get to it. They've got 1. They'll come back for 2. Rupesh Singh will finish 8 not out. Lamashane will finish 2 not out. And Nepal from their 20 overs chasing 178 to win. 8 for 135. Andrews finishes with 2 for 22 from his 4 overs. And shows that he's one of the most important players in this top-end series, the 2025 top-end T20 series. Andrews will have a big say in who wins this event. There's the batting card for Nepal. Birtul 8. Hammond there took the top first 3 wickets of the innings, including Lokesh Bam for a duck. 2 wickets in 1 over. The 4th over of the innings. Rohit, the skipper, 23 off 21, was just starting to hit the ball cleanly before Martin took a good catch in the outfield. His 2nd outfield catch of the innings. Andrews was the bowler for his other one. Kushal, 34 off 26, was probably the pick of the batsman for Nepal. Airy hung around for a while, but 19 off 24 when they were chasing runs and needing to get some big scoring overs, just couldn't get it done. Gulshan gave them a little glimmer with a couple of sixes in a row late in the innings. 26 from 10 was good as well. Just 3 extras in that innings. A very good bowling performance. As Menzies, the 2 quicks at the top did well. Menzies 3 overs, no wickets, but bowled well, just 17. Hammond was the pick, 3 for 21 or 4 overs, the only maiden for the whole match. Andrews cleaned up a couple of wickets as well to go with his well-made 32. Hamish Martin got a wicket to go with his 2 outfield catches. So an excellent performance by the NT strike. Some big hitting. Andrews bowled well. But as the night went on for Nepal, so often picking out the fielders, Richardson, great experience as an Australian quick. He's played a lot of one-day cricket and T20s for Australia. He took a little bit of stick. It's one of the shots of the night from Nepal. Didn't make the boundaries too often. But some lovely hitting there over the offside. Classic T20 shot, opening the legs and just driving powerfully over the offside. Richardson, a little unhappy there with that wide there. Just a little smile between he and the umpire. Martin, the left arm slow bowler, took a couple of catches. Couldn't believe that one. He's wholehearted and energetic, and would have been pretty happy to see the end of Gulshan Jar. Jar hitting him for a couple of sixes. That was the first of them. Both really clean hits. And Gulshan Jar was late in the piece, just gave the Nepalese a slight glimmer of hope, clearing the rope there. That long on, despairing effort by Tom Andrews. Couldn't quite get to it. But Martin, who had a bit of byplay with the crowd when he took his two outfield catches, the reverse sweep attempt by Gulshan Jar, bowled between his legs. And Martin pretty humble there, but would have enjoyed that wicket. Menzies, the 19-year-old, bowled pretty well all night. A wonderful all-round performance by the NT Strike, running out winners over Nepal. Short, 51 off 34 was the mainstay. Andrews, 32 not out off 26. Silk looked dangerous, and it was a big wicket to get for Nepal. And at that stage, you thought Nepal were going to be a big chance to restrict them to a competitive total, but they just weren't up to the run chase in the end. Kushal Mullah, 34, and Hammond took 3 for 21.
Are you looking to hit your studies for 6? Make the move to Australia's Northern Territory and start a world-class partnership where your potential can glide through boundaries and you can rack up runs in places you've never imagined. Enjoy our laid-back lifestyle and help us build what's next. When this over is over, think about getting on a good wicket and consider studying in Australia's Northern Territory. Authorised by the Northern Territory Government, Darwin.
Visiting Darwin, Australia? Make your stay a winning one at Darwin Airport Resorts. Just minutes from the airport and a short drive to the city, it's the ideal base for travellers chasing sun, culture or the cricket. With 3 comfortable hotels, 2 inviting pools and 2 on-site dining options, everything you need is right here. Relax, recharge and enjoy the top end at Darwin Airport Resorts.
Yep. Great win by the NT Strike here in match 5 of the top End T20 Series here at DXC Arena. They were sent into bat, made 8 for 177. Nepal started slowly, lost 2 wickets for no runs in the 4th over, and from then on were never really a chance and lost in the end by 42 runs. 8 for 135 was their final total. Short, the skipper for the NT Strike, led the way with 51. Andrews had a great all-round game with 32 not out from 26 and also took 2 wickets. Hammond 3 for 21. Muller tried pretty hard from Nepal, and Gulshan Jar late gave them a glimmer of hope. But an excellent performance by the NT Strike, semi-finalists last year, going to be hard to beat.